All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are set to begin for today's O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race at the Echo Park Speedway, aka Atlanta, for the second and final live commentary stream of the day. We did the truck race that wrapped up a little over a half hour ago, and now it's time for the secondary series in NASCAR to take their turn at the newly revamped Atlanta Motor Speedway, or formerly known as Atlanta Motor Speedway, with this repave reconfiguration, and of course, overall speedway race, drafting oval race. On the pole for today's race, Sam Mayer in the 41 for Haas, and we do not see the RCR Chevrolets, who did not qualify particularly well yesterday, despite the fact that they seem to have the go-to speed on the super speedway ovals in this formerly known as Xfinity Series. Jesse Love with a former win here, as well as Austin Hill with a few wins of his own right. Hill dominated at Daytona a week ago, leading the most laps and getting the race win. So we'll see if he can go back-to-back to start the 2026 season. For more on that in a little bit, obviously we'll get to the drop of the green flag in a little over 10 minutes from now. Appreciate everybody tuning in for this live stream. Those of you that stuck out the truck race despite the delay, we didn't get going until a little over an hour after the drop of the green flag. Appreciate you tuning back in for this one. And let's turn it trackside for the national anthem.
Our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome Chaplain of Bennett Transportation and Logistics, John Dewberry.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you so much for honoring our prayer, asking that you hold back the weather so that we be able to do this great event of racing. And Father, we thank you so much for a company that loves you first, and they place you first in everything that they do. And we're so grateful for that. And so, Father, we pray that you give us a safe race. Allow these gentlemen to be able to go back home to their families safely as well. And thank you so much for this great venue that's called Echo Park Speedway. In Jesus' name, amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Nashville singer, songwriter, and recording artist from McDonough, Georgia, Chandler Marie.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallant streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and the
What?
All right, let's get ready to go racing. And first and foremost, the starting lineup for today's O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race. Title name sponsor, let me pull that back up on screen so I have it. The BT&L Logistics 250 at Atlanta, 163 laps. Not going to have to worry about shortening the finish to this race like we did the truck race today. We are going to get all 163 laps, 250 miles in, and it should be another fun one. Sam Mayer on the pole for this. Carson Coapo on the front row as well, as he'll start on the outside of row number 1. And row 2 will be Taylor Gray, the one-time Xfinity Series winner of last season, and Sheldon Creed still searching for his first O'Reilly Series victory. William Sawalich with Raja Caruth in row number 3, the rookie of Caruth, second-year driver Sawalich. Giro, rookie in the number 19, along with Sammy Smith in the number 8. In row 5, rounding out the top 10, Corey Day with Jesse Love, a former Atlanta winner. Justin Allgaier, another former Atlanta winner, though the pre-Atlanta that we know of now today. And Ryan Sieg, a Georgia native in row 6. Row 7, Harrison Burton and Patrick Staropoli. Row number 8 for Brandon Jones, Joey Gase. Dean Thompson, Kyle Sieg in row 9. Mason Maggio, Austin Hill, row number 10. In row 11, Josh Williams with Blaine Perkins, Parker Retzlaff, alongside Anthony Alfredo in row number 12. Row 13 is going to be Jeb Burton and Ryan Ellis. Luke Fenhouse, Nick Sanchez starting deeper in the field in row 14. Row 15, Garrett Smithley and Ross Chastain. Chastain in the 32 for Jordan Anderson Racing. That'll be an interesting ride for him. Austin Green with Jeremy Clements in row 16. Brennan Poole and LeVar Scott, row 17. Josh Balicki, Cody Ware, row 18. And row 19, rounding out the field, Chad Fincham and Nick Lights. So that's our 38-car full field starting lineup for today's BT&L Logistics 250. Our stage splits today will be 45 laps at each stage 1 and stage 2. Will take us to the finish in stage 3, which would end up being the final 73 laps. Even splits there. Go into the chat. Shout out who's all watching here. Austin Fuller, Robert Goodrich, Terry Lewis, Bond 1771, Bam Hall, AJ Summers, Marcus Villarreal, William Walton Jr. Many of you, if not all of you, were tuned in for the Craftsman Truck Series race that wrapped up not all that long ago. Congratulations again to Kyle Busch for getting the race win. First of the truck season in his first attempt. 3 straight Atlanta wins for him. 9 at the track in Truck Series history. 68 career wins for Busch. All time now in the trucks. Not as stacked of a field by way of Cup regulars in this race today compared to what we saw in the truck race a little earlier on. The only Cup regular in the field for the O'Reilly race will be Ross Chastain. Watermelon Man. I'm actually going to edit this a little bit. Put another hashtag in there. Oh, nope, never mind. I already got him. Never mind. Chris Davis, also welcome to the stream. What time does the race start? Kyle Lance, thanks for tuning in. Race starts at 5:20 Eastern, I believe, is the drop of the green flag from what I saw earlier. So 5:20 Eastern, we will be live. Live meaning we are racing at 5:20 Eastern. Can't wait. Can't wait. Who is Kyle Busch? Kyle Busch is the all-time winningest driver in the Truck Series. Still top 10 all-time in the Cup Series win list. All-time O'Reilly Series race winner, 2-time Cup champion. That's Kyle Busch. And winner today at Atlanta, that is also Kyle Busch. Alrighty then. I'm excited to get this one underway. I think we're going to have a fun one here today. That truck race was very entertaining. Different style of Atlanta run. Maybe not the classic Atlanta side-by-side finish, but a classic finish nonetheless. By way of Kyle Busch and Carson Hocevar working together for maybe the first time ever in those closing laps to get the race win for Spire Motorsports, and a 1-2 finish at that for that Spire team. All right, should be given the command to fire engines any minute. I'll let you listen in to CW Sports Broadcast.
Sports coordinator Cindy Shepard, who is accompanied by Vice President Owner Lynette Mathis, along with the Director of Motorsports, Noah Folks.
On behalf of Bennett Transportation and Logistics, I just want to say God bless our military and first responders, and God bless America! Now, drummer, start your engine!
There we go. Now that, way to put some gusto into that one. I like that command. Engines are fired. We're going to get set to go here shortly. We already went over the starting lineup for today's race. Hopefully, we have a good, safe one here today. When they come back from commercial, we're going to be just a couple minutes out from the drop of the green flag. Cannot wait. Can anybody beat Austin Hill? Kyle Busch ended up winning our fan vote for who you thought was going to win the race earlier today in the Truck Series event. He ended up going on to win. We'll see if your fan vote is going to end up winning in this second race of the day at Atlanta for the O'Reilly Auto Parts event. You can vote until the end of stage 2 for who you think will win. So again, end of stage 2 is where you can vote for who will win today's race. Right now, Justin Allgaier leading our poll, 35% of the 37 votes. 19% taking Jesse Love, Austin Hill, 27% taking somebody other than those three to get the win. We'll see. We'll see. Triple Edit, thanks for tuning in. Any of you watching, thanks for tuning in. It's been a fun weekend so far, and I think we're going to have another fun one here today. Our Cup Series race tomorrow will begin at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Live right here on KRC, and we'll also be live for the following race. Or I don't know what I was saying there. I got sidetracked. And what I was going to say was that the qualifying earlier today for the Cup Series actually got canceled. So we'll go over the starting lineup for that at some point during this race here today. We'll wait to get this thing underway. I didn't get a chance to do that in the truck race once that got started. Since we did not stream qualifying, I want to let you know where your favorite drivers will be starting tomorrow afternoon. And that start time scheduled for just after 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, we will be live at about 2:30 p.m. Eastern or so. Pull the chat back up again. Yeah, full screen commercial right now on CW. Again, local CW affiliate is where you can watch today's race. We hit our like goal of just over 100 likes for today's Craftsman truck race. Took to the very end, but we did get it. And we have not missed our like goal yet this season, so be sure to hit the like goal so we can hit it again here today. Our goal is to get to 100 likes by the end of the race. 100 likes is our goal for the O'Reilly race at Atlanta. We're a quarter of the way there before the drop of the green flag. We're at 25 likes right now. Subscribe if you're new for more NASCAR content. We have not missed a single race all season long. And we've got some fun ones. Atlanta's vastly been growing on me with this new configuration as far as being one of the more entertaining races to watch. And I think the Cup Series actually races better here than any of the other series, so we will wait and see how that Cup event will do tomorrow. Cars are rolling out onto the racetrack. I'm sure that the booth is going to call in and radio into one of these drivers in the field. You'll get to listen to that. On the call, Adam Alexander, Jamie McMurray, and Parker Kligerman, and they are remote from their Charlotte studio today and not at the racetrack itself. So my commentary basically about the same thing as what you'd be hearing from those guys at Select in various times throughout the course of our coverage as well. Some late breaking updates and See what may happen to some of these drivers throughout the course of the race today. Dialing up Austin Hill.
And you know, they call this Echo Park Speedway. I think it should be Austin's Park Speedway in some respects. He absolutely dominates this place. He's a Georgia boy. It's a home track. And when he gets to the front, watch out for the rest of the field. You have a very hard time.
Qualified in the 20th position.
Everything's in yellow flag condition. We'll be second gear. The only time we'll worry about that fourth gear is if we have to do a green flag pit stop. So
Good information listening in there. Let's dial them up starting 20th today.
Hey, Austin, it's Jamie Mack and the boys up in the CW booth. You got me?
yeah, I got you.
All right. Well, the anticipation over the last 24 hours for Adam Parker and I has been an all-time high to see what this 21 car has today. You didn't qualify well. How do you think you're going to be?
Yeah, I mean, that played one felt hard. You know, I would say handling, I'm hoping I'll hit one. Feeling that you can put on a show for the van, drive up to the field, and have for this.
Well, you're the best at this type of racing. You've been a lot of fun to watch over the past 2 or 3 years. Good luck tonight. Look forward to seeing you get up front.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
He referenced his
As dominant as he is on these drafting style ovals, obviously a lot of speed in the RCR cars because we've seen Jesse Love do the same. Some of that could be learned from driver Austin Hill, but he is a lot of fun to watch because of the maneuvers he's able to make in the draft in these packs at tracks like Talladega, Daytona, and here at Atlanta. And with that being said, it's going to be a lot of fun, I think, to watch him again here tonight. Put on a show. A lot of fans don't really like Austin Hill for what has happened in the last year or so on track wise, but can't deny the talent when it comes to the super speedway racing. He's got several truck series wins between Daytona and Talladega as well. Did not have a chance to race a truck at the newer Atlanta. He's been in Xfinity pretty much the entire time. That repave again back in 2022. They just got done checking pit road times. I think they'll be getting the one to go signal this time by, which means they'll be going green the following lap to begin today's race. Chat, what do you have for picks in today's race? Whether you have voted or not in the chat poll, definitely be sure to do so. But if you haven't, who are you taking? Who is the chat's pick? Back out of the CW real quick, just in case there was a lag. I've had it on here ever since the end of the truck race earlier. Make sure I'm not too far behind. At least with my TV. Hulu as my streaming device. Drop of the green flag was scheduled for 5:20 Eastern on air coverage, I believe, at 5 for the CW side of things. They're starting about 5 minutes late from their estimated green flag start time. Truck race start time pushed back about an hour. It's when they actually went racing. From the time things ended. Lights are out on the pace car. Again, they will be going green this time by at Atlanta. Who is going to win? Echo Park Speedway. Field under caution pace headed into turns 3 and 4. Let's see how it goes. 30 seconds behind the FS1 coverage, lights out. Yep. NASCAR taking the big left-hand turn to pit road. That seems about right. About a 30-second delay with YouTube. Might be a little bit more with the local channels like CW, Big Fox, Big NBC. Just a fair warning for those of you watching at home with muted television and me turned all the way up. Green flag, and we're racing at Atlanta for the second time today. Sam Mayer with his teammate right behind him in the 00. Sheldon Creed giving him a great push off into turns 1 and 2. And to the exit of the corner, it is going to be the inside line. Taking that charge more so down the back straightaway. And into turns 3 and 4, Carson Kvapil not going to be able to pull clear. His help came from Taylor Gray in the 54. Phil was very spaced out in stage 1 of the truck race. Once adjustments were able to be made into stage 2, things got a lot more condensed from front to the back of the lead lap. And I wonder if that will be the same thing here in today's O'Reilly race. Again, there is no practice across any of the drafting ovals minus Daytona during Speed Week last week. The second trip to Daytona, both Atlanta starts and both Talladega races are not going to yield any practice sessions across the top 3 series. So handling based off of what you would have had for qualifying, obviously not going to be the same for the race. Sheldon Creed, fastest lap in the first 2 completed laps of this race with a lap time of a 31.44, same as the actual race leader of Sam Mayer right in front of him, as both the Haas Fords are pulling away just a bit. Side by side for third between Taylor Gray and Carson Kvapil. Kvapil heads the inside line still. Gray was able to get to his outside a little bit ago. Rounding out off the exit of turn 4. 3 laps complete. All led by Mayer, the pole sitter. Austin Hill stuck in the middle of the pack after a not-so-good qualifying effort. Beginning mid-pack, Jesse Love qualifying in 10th. Expect both those RCR cars to make charges to the front of the field at some point today. My pick is Austin Hill for the race win. Going to keep it safe again, just like I did last week. Corey Day trying to go up the middle 3 wide. We'll see how that works. A little bit of contact at the end of the front stretch, and he hits one car to his outside, and we got a big crash off turn 4 down the front stretch. And that was because of that ill-advised move by Corey Day up the middle, trying to cram it into a hole 3 wide that just wasn't there.
Corey Day went to the middle to put it 3 wide.
That was a hard crash for Ryan Sieg.
They squeezed all together. End up with Ryan Sieg going around in front of the field to the tri-oval.
24 Harrison Burton, big damage. 31 Blaine Perkins coming off a top 10 last weekend at Daytona, also banged up.
Yeah, this is what Austin Hill was worried about yesterday with where he started. But as we were riding on board with him, you saw it happen just to his outside, and he was actually able to sneak by that. I don't think he has any damage.
Both Sieg brothers getting damaged. This is the 28 of Kyle Sieg. You hate it because their hometown, Tucker, Georgia, 50 minutes away. Let's listen to some radio.
Every week is an idiot. I don't know why he's in a piece of art.
Obviously frustrated and glad to see him walking out of the car. He had a really hard hit in the outside wall through the tri-oval, really flush angle. And I do think this is a bit of just the fight for real estate at this racetrack. So we're a little further back here with Corey Day.
Yeah, Corey's actually running 4th. Right there, you see just to the outside of Carson Kvapil.
Well, that's Raja.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry.
Both HendrickCars.com.
Yeah,
It gets confusing. Trust me, the spotters have the same issue. So here we go. You see the 39. Just go up the racetrack a little bit. There was a small wiggle you could almost not see. He doesn't quite realize there's 3 wide right there with Corey Day. Giro Zero's right below him. They all meet in the same spot, and unfortunately ends up with Ryan Sieg going to the wall hard.
Yeah, just got to say, here's the deal. It's lap 5. So
Yeah.
if you're seeing,
Why?
yeah, you're furious, right?
Yeah.
It's lap 5. Why are you forcing the issue? If you're Corey Day, that door kind of opened up right there.
When I saw it happening when we were on board of Austin Hill, you could see it out of the corner, all this going down. And I thought when Corey went through, I thought that's an optimistic move.
And honestly, as you look at that, the 39 had a little bit of room to his outside. If you're in Corey Day's position, you think they're going to give that to you.
But remember, Corey's never been here. The way that dog leg works in the travel, it actually condenses you down. So it's just an awkward spot. You don't want to be in that position. And if you go right of your screen, you're going to see the teammates from Viking sneak through. Anthony Albrigo, Parker Richlaw could have been in it. They're able to dodge and go left and avoid. Early caution here at Echo Park Speedway.
Early crash and a hard one at that for a few drivers involved. Middle of the pack, Corey Day trying to go up the middle 3 wide in the opening laps. A hole that just wasn't open. A hard hit for Ryan Sieg. Several others that are all taken out of the race because of this early incident with quite significant damage. Kyle Sieg and Ryan Sieg, both the Sieg brothers involved. Harrison Burton had a ton of damage as well as Blaine Perkins. Corey Day, for the most part, I think got off kind of scot-free. He had the contact with the car underneath him. He might have to bring it to pit road because of a tire rub, but yeah, not so great for Corey Day. Full-time in the O'Reilly Series this year, of course, ran part-time under the truck in O'Reilly Series last year, made great improvements towards the end of the season. But, yeah, just not a good move. Very early into a 163-lap race. You don't want to see that. So we'll see how this is going to go. Can't push that early on cold tires. No, you cannot. I mean, it's not really the cold tires. It's more just, I mean, he tried to cram it up the middle. The hole wasn't open. There's a pretty tight gap between Ryan Sieg and the car that was on the inside between where Corey Day was in the middle groove. Sieg, you just got to lift and concede your position there in any lap, let alone 5 laps in. No need to try to be a hero and go up the middle like that soon. I always hate when cars that cause incidents aren't involved in it themselves and kind of take out the innocent bystanders while the driver who started the incident makes the foolish mistake, kind of continues on with their day. And the innocent bystanders in this, both the Sieg brothers, Harrison Burton and Blaine Perkins. And they're all probably going to be done for the day. All 4 of them had very significant damage. If we get an interview from any of them outside of the infield care center, obviously we will see just that. CW has horrible video quality. Yeah, their quality is not great most of the time. The audio always seems kind of fuzzy to me, too.
Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit Progressive.
Is that clear?
And by O'Reilly Auto Parts, professional parts people. Sun going down in Hampton, Georgia. Early caution for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. 6 vehicles involved in this one. NASCAR has taken over Echo Park Speedway, and the fan zone is packed with fun for the whole family. From activations to games to giveaways, it's the perfect way to spend the race weekend. And Echo Park Automotive is adding to the excitement with their Green Flag Sales event, offering exclusive deals you won't find any time of the year. And you got plenty of great vehicles that are ready to purchase and drive home. Race fans know that Echo Park Automotive is where car buying is easier, better, and happier. Great to have the fans out. Race number 2 in the draft here at Atlanta. Next weekend, after a couple of trips in the draft, we'll go to Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, and do a little road race. Let's see what brought out that first caution of the day.
And you see, I mean, it looked to me like as you watch this over and over again, the 17, I don't fault him for that. It was early in the race, Parker, but there was room to the outside of the 39 to sneak in there. It's just frustrating to have it happen on lap 5.
You got to remember, he's never been here. It's an optimistic move because if you've been here, you see the natural direction of the cars where Ryan Sieg went is the natural direction. Because look, there is all that asphalt out there. You don't use it because of the shape of the dogleg. So for Ryan, I don't think he potentially knew they were 3 wide at that second, but he also was kind of going the natural way that you do at this racetrack where it really condenses through each of those doglegs. And you'll find if you're way on the inside, you'll end up clipping below that line on the bottom because you have to kind of get some more racetrack.
And you also depend on your spotter to let you know who you're racing around. And I think what you referenced there, that Corey's never been here before. So you got to give some people a little more room than others just because of the unknowns.
Here are the drivers involved in the crash. Rookie Patrick Starpolich, who made one of his 4 starts a year ago, right here at Atlanta. Almost 10 laps in for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series at Echo Park Speedway.
Family-owned team for both of those Sieg brothers. Tough to see both of them out of the race this early, and with heavy damage for a smaller team like that, this is obviously one of their opportunities where they can go out, have a good run, even if they have a shot to win the race. Ryan Sieg's had multiple times here at this new Atlanta. That could happen, but take it out on lap 5, and both of them last 2 on the grid. Not going to be good for the finances here today. So under caution, for the first time, we only have 1 caution for incident in 125 laps of a truck race. 1 caution for incident in the first 5 laps here for this O'Reilly race. We'll see if things settle down at all. Up at the front of the field, it was relatively calm between Sam Mayer and Sheldon Creed, running 1-2 to get this race started. Taylor Gray in 3rd, Roger Carruth is 4th, and Carson Quapple rounds out the top 5 and 5th for the ensuing restart. Long ways to go yet. Plenty of time. Brennan Poole gets a win today. Could get redemption from a week ago. We don't see the upset wins at Atlanta that we do at Daytona and Talladega. We've come close several times, obviously, but haven't quite gotten there yet. I guess Nick Sanchez getting his first career win last summer at Atlanta would have been an upset win, but it's really about it. Parker Kligerman's come close a couple times. I mentioned about Ryan Sieg coming close. Random occasions, though, you would see those guys compete for wins, like Kligerman on a couple of road courses, and seeing various ovals throughout the season. We'll just randomly see him pop up with race-winning contention speed. He's very good at Vegas, Texas. A couple of years ago, I had that photo finish with Sam Mayer. Long ways to go. Plenty of time. Maybe Sheldon Creed gets his first win. That's possible. Good start for those two, but the RCR boys had a lot of headway to try to make up. I think Ross Chastain should be quick in the Jordan Anderson Racing 32 car as well. Chastain missed that crash, and he's up 10 spots from the start. Qualified 30th. And in the draft up to 20th. Not bad for 5 green flag laps to move up that quickly in the running order. Shout out to Ben Rhodes on that last restart. To the end of the race of about 19 laps, went from 20th, and he was up as high as 3rd. In contention for the win, finishes 4th. He had a very fast race truck, led the most laps in that race as well. Here's Ryan Sieg after exiting the infield care center. He's with Kim Kuhn.
Done for the day. Walk me through what happened and the frustration with the 17 of Corey Day.
Yeah, it's lap 3, I think. So we're just riding, just kind of staying in line, trying to get our line going. And then he's got somewhat of a hole and he just goes in it. I guess we forgot where the gas pedal is. But we had a pretty good psyops for just riding right there. And you know what I mean? I mean, what's the point? It's lap 3. So, but you know what I mean? That's his normal race, anyways, tearing up cars. So I don't know. It's like that at Martinsville. He wrecks 15 times in one lap. So I mean, last week he did that about 4 or 5 times at Daytona. So here we are again on lap 3. Just not smart.
Very frustrated Ryan Sieg down here, guys.
Well, I'm sure the frustration is magnified because this is a place where he's been good. He nearly won here in 2022. It's his home track and brought in a lot of momentum after overcoming adversity, finishing third in the season opener last week, done way too early. Is Ryan Sieg. You hate it for him.
It's frustrating, but it's also a lesson a lot in the field. You know, that's how tight it can get off of 4 through that dog leg. And you're going to see moments like that where you want to take a run. And sometimes the best decision you can make is to not take a run, especially that early in the race in that position off of 4.
We did the choose. Sam Mayer takes the outside lane again. And one more time, he'll have his teammate right behind him, Sheldon Creed. Mayer's led every lap today, the first 12 circuits. He had led 4 laps total in his career coming in, so he has been impressive from the pole. And he will lead us back to the Echo Park restart zone. Echo Park Automotive. Car buying is easier, better, and happier. Green once again here in Atlanta.
Yeah, the roles are slightly reversed. You see Taylor Gray on the inside, has Carson Kvapil behind him, not attached at all. Outside lane, very organized. All 3 of them, 4 of them all lined up right there.
See if they connect on the backstretch like they did at the start of the race, where they really had a lot of momentum down into 3. Doesn't look, they're definitely getting connected, but not quite able to gain momentum on those HFT teammates on the top side.
And you can really tell how hard the car behind is pushing based on how out of control the car is wiggling around. I was like, wow,
No smoke here, 41.
I think it's been well, yeah, maybe.
it might be. I thought maybe it was just.
Baby drop.
Oh no, it's not.
Definitely.
Oh, no, that's an oil line or something. I don't see any tire rub at all.
No, they made
There's
contact.
something come loose on that car.
They made contact. It's a tire rub.
They did have a little bit of contact.
Oh yeah, you could see them pushed in there.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
he and Gray in that white and yellow 54, here they are coming toward the start-finish line.
Oh, wow.
There's the contact.
Taylor trying to side drive.
Didn't judge it correctly.
I'm not going here. Just sure.
Completely missed Jones trying to go up there and side draft.
Good news though is
It's kind of settled itself down.
it's not getting worse, which is great. Yeah, that first lap was really bad, but see when the car goes in and it compresses right here. I'm feeling a little bit. I'm feeling a little better about it right now.
Went away. Basically clears up simple.
I'll tell you what, maybe I'll get it this time.
With Carson Kvapil giving us a front row seat for this dogfight at the front. There he goes. Now let it come on that inside lane.
Well, what about how much these guys are able to run side by side? We referenced earlier about handling and how big of a factor is that going to be, but we're 4 rows deep here, side by side.
And we were worried about the RCR cars. Right now, third in line down low, Jesse Love. And coming up behind him after starting 20th, we're 15 laps in, Austin Hill into 21.
See, he's got no momentum right now. You see how the outside just.
All right, 17 laps into this race out of 45 in stage 1 and 163 total in this afternoon leading into the nighttime this evening's race. Sam Mayer is the current leader. Taylor Gray in second. Sheldon Creed third. Carson Kvapil fourth. Raja Carruth in fifth. Sixth is Sammy Smith. Gio Ruggiero in seventh. Jesse Love eighth. William Sawalich ninth. Brandon Jones rounds out the top 10. Just getting started. Long way to go in the race. Jeb Burton has the current fastest lap. The Xfinity fastest lap at that. He sits in 18th. His last best lap was lap 16 about 3 laps ago. 30.883 for him. Field not spacing out quite as much as what the Truck Series was through Stage 1. So handling conditions may be a bit better with cooler track conditions. And just overall, knowing what they would have maybe seen out of the Truck Series in that start. And, hey, we should probably gear up the handling, tighten things up. A lot of trucks look very loose for the most part of the ill-handling ones in the early going of the truck event. Let's not be too loose for the start of the race. And a lot of these drivers keeping it planted to the ground. Had that early caution because of an ill-advised move from Corey Day, but otherwise, so far, so good. Jesse Love, who started 10th. Richard Childress Racing is on the inside. Carson Kvapil right in front of him. Kvapil restarted On the inside of row 1, he was third when the caution initially came out. He's still side by side for fourth with the 54 of Taylor Gray. Ross Chastain, after coming from deep in the field, 30th starting position, is in the top half, just outside of the top 15 currently. 4 cars out of the race from that crash on the opening lap. And everybody else that is in the race still remains on the lead lap. There was nobody that had damage from the incidents for the most part. That is still running. Everybody was basically able to evade of the 34 cars that are still on track. Just not for the 4 with the significant damage. Very, very early exit. It's kind of crazy. All 4 cars are completely done. Not some of them multiple laps down with significant damage and still kind of putt-putting around. They're all back in the garage area. 1 car trying to take to the bottom of the racetrack. Not sure exactly who that is. Might be Austin Hill in the 21. Nope, Carson Kvapil in the 1 car. He just has not been able to get to the outside ever since the restart. Outside was the preferred line in the truck race. You're going to see that in the O'Reilly race as well. And although it'll be the preferred line in the Cup race, I think the inside is going to work out a little bit better. Albeit when there were more trucks in the inside line at the end of that truck race for about that last 10-lap run or so to the checker, they were able to hold on relatively well when timing their pushes front bumper to back bumper out on the back straightaway, front stretch as well. Halfway through stage 1 at Atlanta. Already 4 lead changes, most of which those first couple laps after this restart. That was between Sam Mayer and I believe Carson Kvapil. Taylor Gray, actually. Gray led for 2 laps. Kvapil was the second car in line, did not lead any. So Mayer's led all but 2 laps of the 24 complete. I guess there isn't going to be an Arby's pit box, though, today because they're not live at the track this week at Atlanta. So, that being said, maybe, I mean, outside of the pit reporters that are live at the track, but they don't have the pit box. Broadcasters are in the Charlotte studios. Anthony Alfredo coming into the pits in the 96 car for an unscheduled pit stop. Drove the 5 car last weekend in replacement of Cesar Baccarella, who initially had qualified his car in on time. Baccarella not in the 5 this week, as that car is actually being driven by Luke Fenhouse. 96 again for Alfredo. But unscheduled stop. Didn't look like there was a lot of urgency trying to change those right side tires out. Our leaderboard's already showing Alfredo 2 laps down. You pit under green at Atlanta, though, you're pretty much going to go 2 laps down. Unless it's on the last lap or so of the stage where you can kind of get bailed out with a caution of some sort. A little less than 20 to go here. We'll take our first break. You're listening live on KRC to our full flag-to-flag coverage of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race at Atlanta. Austin Hill kind of nowhere to be found in the early going of this race. As far as the race lead goes. Oh, problems for Sam Mayer. His left front tire's down. Remember, he had that door-to-door contact multiple times with Taylor Gray. There's a little bit of the Goodyear lettering rubbed off. Had a tire up for a couple laps. Holding out. Now he catches the caution. In the midst of that, backing up the outside lane. We've got one of the RCR cars, Jesse Love, up on the inside looking for the lead. Along with the 00 of Sheldon Creed, who has now lost his Haas teammate. Creed leads that lap at the line. Big run for Raja Karut to the inside of both of them. 3 wide into turn 1, and Raja Karut will end up out in front. And Austin Hill right behind his teammate Jesse Love as they'll try to work together already. Love clear for second, will get to the outside. Hill leads the bottom as he tries to side draft his former teammate now, Sheldon Creed, for third. They'll stay door to door. Sammy Smith got way too tight on the high lane. Couple rows back. Meanwhile, Sam Mayer finally makes it to pit road. And it looks like they're just going to change 4 tires on that 41 car instead of just the lefts where the tire was down. So 4-tire change for Mayer. Now he's going to fall off the lead lap. So we've seen a couple of drivers, Anthony Alfredo, Sam Mayer, make unscheduled pit stops. After this last restart, we have just 15 laps to go at stage 1. RCR out in front for the first time. It's Jesse Love after a push from Hill down the backstretch into 3 and 4 to pull clear. Love had plenty of time to move to the outside in front of Carruth, waited till the last second. Carruth actually will slingshot him down to the inside, and we'll see if Carruth is going to be able to clear to get the lead back. Slides up, but he's not clear. Carruth led that lap of the line, so Love never officially led. Should get some pushes down the back straightaway from the 0-0. No, couldn't quite get to him in time. Creed didn't get off turn 2 quite as well as Love would have hoped for. Carruth is still underneath the 2 car. Love trying to pinch him off a bit in the center of the corner. Very aggressive are both these drivers with the side drafting affair. Austin Hill's still down on the bottom. He's trying to draft off of the 88 to keep his momentum up before he loses too many spots on the bottom for being by himself. There's another car on the inside. That would be the 32 of Ross Chastain from 30th starting position. He is up to 7th already. Ross the boss. Watermelon Man up towards the front.
Start to the event from the pole, leading the race, tire issue. He makes an unscheduled pit stop. That insult to injury, he's speeding, and so with that, he's going to be a couple of laps down, and he's going to have to come from behind here today. And that sets up Jesse Love to take over the race lead. Let's go back and see the 41 falling back. You watched it side by side.
He did a great job here with the left front going down, getting out of the way here. He's pulling everyone by. He does this all the way down the front stretch as cars go by, but then this is a unique pit road here at Atlanta. You actually enter into turn 3. You have a different speed through the turn 3 portion until you get to the pit road portion. You have to slow down even more. You don't usually do a green flag stop here, but it's so unique that for many years, when we first went here, a lot of us in the sim would do practice runs on the pit road because you almost need a brake marker down the backstretch to understand exactly when you need to start braking to get slowed down to what's 90 miles per hour through that apron portion.
When Anthony Alfredo made his pit stop, he got a commitment line violation. You're just not used to doing it here under green, and because you don't get that practice, you really can't work on it outside of what Parker talked about in the sim. So challenges for all these guys. Look at this, 30 seconds per second. Black and white 99. Parker Retzlaff getting a shove from the 54 to Taylor Gray as they follow Jesse Love around.
Almost exactly what we saw early on in the race. No real plus line. Parker Retzlaff did an awesome job getting all the way up to second right here. Raja's had a great battle as well with Jesse Love for the lead.
Look back there, 51. That blue machine. Man, that would be our good friend Jeremy Clements, who started this race in the back, had problems last week at Daytona, but he's in the mix. And outside of that 3 wide, Austin Hill.
It's a racy Atlanta Motor Speedway here that we haven't really seen where you can make all these passes to the bottom. I mean, Raja Cruz holding strong on the inside with no help. He took a turn out the front right now. Now he's sort of fading a little bit, looking for some drafting help right now. But these passes and the runs we're seeing, the drivers can get to the inside. I haven't seen this in the past. It makes me think there is maybe a little bit of handling happening in the corners. Guys are having to check up on the throttle, and it gives you a massive run on the straight.
Hill super loose on the inside of Justin. I think Justin jumped his outside.
Well, it's like he's got a parachute now. Falling back.
Yeah,
everybody driving by on the inside.
his shorts are full.
Shorts are
He's trying
full.
to gather it up.
Well, I mean, he had gone from 20th to the top 10. Now he's outside the top 15. Here's team radio.
Well, very similar to what we saw with Sam Mayer earlier. It seemed like that tire was slowly going down. Wait and see what happens. He's going to feel this out. The fact that he's resting his right arm on the leg brace on the straightaway tells me it's probably starting to feel a little bit better.
Well, with 8 laps to go on the stage, you can try and ride it out here.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to get stage points. You just give those up. and try to make it to the end of the stage and get that pit stop.
I'd like to go back and see a replay of where he was so loose in 3 and 4. You know, did that happen because the 7 got to his outside, or did the 7 get to his outside because he got so loose?
He's already sliding. You can see he's already chasing it up the racetrack right there.
And then that just magnified it as Justin got to his outside, kind of pulls you around when that car passes you on the top.
Here we are on board. Watch his hands. Yeah, you see all those little moves. That's just chasing it up the track. And then once Justin gets there, that takes all the side force away. He's just hanging on.
I think Hamlin's well. So here's the what makes this so hard if you're Austin Hill, the 21 team, is as you come to the stage break and you make your adjustment. Do you make an adjustment for this, or do you have a tire going down? Is that why you're loose? And if you guess that wrong, it's going to mess up the whole next stage for you if you get the balance off.
He got 75 points in the race last week. Won both stages, won the race, basically maxed it out. The only thing he didn't get was that award for winning the Xfinity fastest lap. Not going to get any stage points here. His teammate in line to do it up front. Coming to 5 to go. Love in front of Retzlaff. Good battles all over the place.
Well, you mentioned Love being able to lead this. The guy that I have my eye on is the 7, Justin Allgaier. He's slowly, methodically working his way to the front, been able to move up and run past these guys on the outside. Turns 3 and 4 is kind of in his sweet spot. If I'm Raja Caruth in that 88, I want my spotter to tell me where those have been happening so that I can guard against it. You can run just a little bit higher, even if it's not the exact lane you want.
Yeah, protect that right rear. If you give him that chance to the outside, he may use it.
It's hard to go to the inside because if he can get beside Raja on the straightaway, but if you don't think they'll clear the pass, or if there's not a lane, a gap in front of the 88, then you go all the way to the back of that line. It's such a gamble.
Here's a look at our Powerball. Here's best for the bunch from back. Justin Allgaier plus 30. Chastain coming from the rear plus 28. Same for Jeremy Clements and Jeb Burton. Nice start for all those drivers. Second in line on track at plus 19, Parker Retzlaff.
Look at Chastain go all the way to the bottom. He passed two cars, but watch how fast they go back by him because of the draft on the straightaway. He's going to go back all the way to where he was and make you lose. One more.
Raja coming off that career best 10th last week at Daytona. Junior Motorsports put all 4 of their cars in the top 10 in the season opener. 3 there now as we head back to 2 to go stage 1.
It's so enticing to do that because you have the distance difference between running on the bottom versus where everyone else is running that top lane. You make so much time in the corner. Can he slot in front of Tara Gray?
He's done. Yes, he's done. Oh. Yeah, the 54 struggled right there in turns 3 and 4. He lost the nose a little bit. Maybe the front's not turning as good as he wants. It opened up that gap, and the 88 was able to get. If you watch the 54, he can't stay tight to whoever's in front of him.
Going around the lap car, that's the 55, the Chad Fincham. And he's going a lap down now, so he'll be in line for the free pass, and that's big when you think about some of these other drivers that had problems here in the opening stage seeking that free pass. Going to be 1 to go this time by the first stage of the race. It has been entertaining to say the least.
And this is a great time if you're Retzlaff, take a chance right here. See in 3 and 4 if you can clear the 2 car. Jesse Love's going to go wherever he thinks they're going to go to try to make that block.
Allgaier out of the line, looking for a spot on Taylor Gray. It's a great first stage for him. It's all about the rear view mirror for Jesse Love.
I thought Rogers got the help there from Justin Allgaier. He wasn't able to get there for Retzlaff. He just internalized the run on the 2.
RCR undefeated in the stages this year. 2 for Austin Hill last week. Today, stage 1 goes to his teammate Jesse Love. Raja Caruth 10th. Retzlaff was outstanding. Gray 4th. And Justin Allgaier from the back to a top 5 finish in stage 1. And what a stage it was here at Echo Park Speedway just outside Atlanta.
Yeah, that's one thing here for Austin Hill. I mentioned about him dominating the race last week. Didn't even mention the fact that he ended up winning both stages and winning the race on top of leading the most laps, 70 of which out of about 120 last weekend. Jesse Love wins stage 1 here today. I don't want to say dominating fashion. I think he did lead the most laps in the stage. Once he got to the lead, 16 laps led. I know Mayer led a ton before that and having the flat tire. from the lead. Mayer actually led for 23 laps. So Sam Mayer still led the most, but now he is a lap down at the end of this stage. I don't think he was the first car off of the lead lap. Chad Fincham in the 55 car, running 29th place position, will get the free pass as the first car 1 lap down. Mayer's actually 2 laps down because of having to pit under green, just like with Anthony Alfredo. Dean Thompson also ended up making an unscheduled stop somewhere in that first stage in that longer green flag run. He too was also 2 laps down. So tough break for Mayer. He's got a lot to come back from yet in this one. And congrats to Jesse Love for winning stage 1. The stage points that are awarded here, we got Love in first, Raja Karut second, Parker Retzlaff third, Taylor Gray fourth, Justin Allgaier fifth, sixth for Sheldon Creed, Carson Quapple seventh, Nick Sanchez eighth, Jeremy Clements ninth, Ross Chastain rounds out the top 10. 1 point per position, 10 points for first, 1 point all the way back for 10th as far as those stage results go. Thanks to all of you tuning in for today's live commentary stream for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race, the BT&L Logistics 250. We'll take a quick break. You're listening live on KRC. Just over 35 minutes into the race, 1 caution for incident. On lap 5, Corey Day tried to go up the middle 3 wide, causing a crash involving 4 cars, knocking all of which out of the race. Harrison Burton, Blaine Perkins, Ryan Sieg, and Kyle Sieg. And that is the big incident you missed there. Now Jesse Love holding on to win stage 1 with 16 laps led today. Sam Mayer from the pole, able to lead to the first 23 or so before having a flat tire after contact not long after that restart with Taylor Gray. First lap or 2 after the restart, the contact was made. It was about another dozen laps after before the tire started going flat on him to make that unscheduled stop. Yeah, if you haven't hit the like button, definitely be sure to do so. This is a new stream, not from earlier. We're at 45 likes. Our goal to get to 100 tonight. We're almost halfway to our goal. Second caution now. 45 laps in the first 2 stages again, and the final stage is going to be 73 laps in length, which is going to be right on the edge of the fuel window by the time we actually go green. Wondering if there may be some fuel-saving measures. We saw a fuel mileage race at Atlanta 2 springs ago, and that's where Jesse Love in overtime actually ran out of gas. At that point, was going for his first career win. Stumbled to get going on the restart. His teammate Austin Hill was able to pick up the W. So first round of pit stops upcoming shortly. Once pit road opens, I'll let you listen in to what adjustments certain drivers will be making. Muted? I don't know what's going on right now in CW Sports. Trying to figure that out. I don't know if that had anything to do with Arby's or not. Well, there's an Arby's ad at the bottom of the screen, so maybe it did. I guess they do have the Arby's pit box yet again. The CW crew. I didn't think they were going to have that because they don't really have a lot of at-track personnel minus camera people and pit road reporters, obviously. Sieg owns his team, right? Family owned, yes. Both himself, I think his dad, pretty much him, his dad. I know his brother, obviously, Kyle Sieg also races. It's a 2-car operation. But yeah, all family owned, and tough to see them last two in the running order and with damaged cars. Not good for small teams to have that happen, let alone a racetrack like this where they can actually be competitive. And not tonight. Never got a chance to see what they could have had. Home track for the Sieg family. Unable to show for. All right. Surprise Pit Road has not opened yet. Should be this time by. Yeah, Dylan Welch set the Arby's pit box. All right, pit road's open.
Down on the apron.
Such a long pit road here.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a huge penalty for guys like Mayer or Anthony Alfredo having to pit under green.
Under green, 90 miles an hour on that part of it, but under caution when you come in, the entire pit road, 45 miles per hour is the max speed. Jesse Love leads us down. Progressive Pit Road is open. Dylan?
It's less 30 for Justin Allgaier as he hits the first pit box here on pit road. Reported use a little bit free in, tight off. Their plan is to change 4 tires on the 7 car here, and they'll go around to the left side and do that. Top of the screen, Taylor Gray. Tony Hirschman, his spotter, said keep your entries rounded so you don't open up the top. He's a little free as well. 4 tires on a track car adjustment, Cam.
Rajak Cruz there in the middle said 1.5 to 2 snug on the bottom of freer when I moved up higher. Said I need to be tighter starting on stickers. You see the 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Jesse Love there on the bottom said, I'm happy with the car's handling compared to everyone else. Never tight. Sometimes a tick free. Danny Stockman said, I want to tighten you up just a little bit.
Race off Progressive Pit Road. Love wins it.
Jesse Love wins the race out of the pits. No tires taken for him. Actually, mostly tires taken. I saw the no spots gained thinking that was tires because I saw 2 behind them. Most of these teams trying to take some extra grip here. 4 tires along with it. Tires seem to matter here at Atlanta. I think that was a lot of what also happened for Ben Rhodes in that truck race with getting the free pass, was able to take on 4 fresh Goodyears and really go for it. Tire carrier gets hit for Taylor Gray. They showed a replay of it. Man down. Hopefully he's all right. Never good to get hit by a moving vehicle. Accelerating out of the box like that. Missed time by Taylor Gray driving again out of the box. Scary situation. Hopefully he is okay. He popped back up pretty quickly, but hopefully it's more than just adrenaline getting him back with his teammates behind the pit wall. As close as it is when these, especially competitive teams, really try to maximize their time in the pits like that, it is amazing that that doesn't happen more. The seconds shaving kind of sequences that we see in the pits time in and time out nowadays in this sport. Easy Network, thanks for tuning in. I don't think Gray hit him on purpose. I mean, it's just mistimed. Never want to see that happen, especially with your teammate. Frustrated in the essence that he was losing a lot of spots because of the slow pit stop and tried to get out of the box as quickly as he could. It was just too quick. So under caution at Atlanta. Jesse Love, our race leader. Ahead of Taylor Gray, Justin Allgaier, Sheldon Creed, Raja Caruth, Carson Kvapil. Top 6 out of the pits, 7 through 12. It's Brandon Jones, followed by Parker Retzlaff, Jeb Burton, Corey Day, William Sawalich, and Gio Ruggiero. What penalty did they call on Gray? He still scored in second on our leaderboard. I don't know if there was a penalty for him. I'll have to wait until they come back from commercial to verify it. So on my end, they're still under full screen commercial break. And on our leaderboard, Taylor Gray's in second. The tire carrier held on to the tire for the most part, kept it in front of him after getting hit. I don't think there's going to be an uncontrolled tire penalty here unless it rolled away from the opposite side too far before he went out and grabbed it, which now seems to be the case, which I would assume was going to happen. I just didn't see him drop back yet. So now Taylor Gray is going to the tail end of the field. He was second coming out of the pits, but now is going to be end of the longest line for the restart. I'd imagine an uncontrolled tire penalty. Wait to get to this next restart, see where we're at. Legs swept out right from underneath him. Both of them. Kind of hit like center of the nose of his race car. Some of the replays looked like he wasn't even close, but real time, it was definitely close. I mean, he's another step from getting out of the way or being able to maybe jump out of the way. Again, hopefully he is okay. He did get up under his own power pretty quickly at that. Sure, he's going to be sore in the morning. Anytime you're hit by a moving vehicle, I would imagine you'd be sore the following day or days to come. Safety violation. I mean, if you're listening to the broadcast, you would know more than me in that aspect because I have not been able to listen to it since I came back from commercial. Austin Hill looks to be fired up in his race car. He's towards the tail end of the pack here. Green flag back in the air. He knows that these are points that he could score towards the season championship. He dominated the first race of the year, and he was off to a 75-point performance for winning both stages and winning the race last weekend. Was hoping to do something similar here today, or at least towards the front. And at the end of stage one, he was not anywhere near the front. Meanwhile, his teammate Jesse Love was, and Love restarts in the lead and gets out in front quickly. Side-by-side battle off turn 4 for second between Sheldon Creed and Justin Allgaier. Brandon Jones trying to give a push to Corey Day in the 17, get him moving forward. Around the inside of the racetrack goes Love. Sliding up to that middle to upper groove of the racetrack, both cars. And back to the inside now is going to be the one of Carson Quapple, the other JRM Chevy up in the top 5. One of 3, in fact. Roger Caruth hanging in back there. Actually, now Caruth right around 6th. Corey Day, the other HendrickCars.com Chevy underneath. And the 17. Hendrick Motorsports is in 5th. Got about 100 concurrent viewers watching. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We're just past halfway to our like goal of 100. We're at 53 right now. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR contents. Jesse Love leads the field on the first few green flag laps to open up stage 2. 3 cars down on the bottom lane of the racetrack between Quapple, Corey Day, and Brandon Jones. 4th car now coming into the picture on the bottom would be Sammy Smith in the 8. Mostly single file around the top through the top half of the field beyond that. Corey Day looks very loose right around the bottom of the racetrack. It's same for the 27 of Jeb Burton, who hops up out of the throttle, maybe even tight for Burton's sake. That higher line had to lift to keep it off the wall, loses about 3 spots in one corner. Got to quickly get his momentum back middle of the front stretch. And takes the charge into turns 1 and 2 up the middle, 3 wide between the 99 of DiBenedetto. Another car down to the bottom. That would be the 18 of Sawalich, and Chastain going to give his teammate a push. And Jeb Burton gets clear of the 18, gets to the bottom himself, and still is going to battle the 99 Viking Motorsport car of Parker Retzlaff. See you, Steve. Thanks for tuning in. Contact off turn 2 for second. Carson Quapple leaning on the 00 car to his outside of Sheldon Creed. A little too close. Got to be careful. Remember, we saw Sam Mayer have contact and ended up cutting a left front tire, and he's a couple laps down because of it. Tough to come back from multiple laps down in a race. Any track for that matter, especially when there's other cars that are 1 lap down, you're never going to get the free pass. Wonder if there's any way for Mayer to try to race himself through the pack and get up there that way. Not impossible. I mean, he was leading, qualified on the pole. Quapple finally gets up off the bottom. He's the 5th car in line on the outside. Corey Day left on the inside all by himself now. And is fading pretty quickly. Top 10 in the running order at the end of lap 63, having 100 laps to go now, has Jesse Love out in front, Sheldon Creed in second, Justin Allgaier third, Raja Carruth fourth, Carson Quapple in fifth, 6th for Brandon Jones, Parker Retzlaff 7, Sammy Smith 8th, Austin Hill 9th, Corey Day rounds out the top 10. Again, not as much separation between the leaders and the back of this lead pack, which seems to be about 21 cars. And then Patrick Staropoli in the 48 cars in 22nd, 3 laps down, bit of a gap behind between him and Mason Maggio in the 91. 29 cars are on the lead lap currently. Fincham got the free pass at the stage end. And then you got Dean Thompson, currently the first car lap down in 30th. And yes, Sam Mayer is still 2 laps down. There's 2 cars 1 lap down on track ahead of him in the running order. So he's probably going to need quite a few cautions. Try to get a better swing of things. Everybody will have to make at least 1 more pit stop between now and the end of the race, which will likely be at the end of stage 2. And if we get enough cautions, they'll easily be able to make it on fuel in that final stage. If we go green without any yellows in stage 3, could see a fuel mileage race. And obviously, in the event of overtime, because of how tight it's going to be, that could turn into a fuel mileage event like we saw here 2 springs ago. Jesse Love trying to battle up the inside after losing the lead to Sheldon Creed about a lap ago. And Creed out in front, still in search for his first career O'Reilly Auto Parts Series victory. Got a Ford and a Chevy up at the front. Actually, 2 Chevys, my bad. Got Haas obviously switching over to Chevrolet. Not many Fords in the field anymore. Ryan Sieg with that alliance. The Sieg family with those Fords. It's only 2 Fords in the field of 38 cars. That's the 25 AM Racing Nick Sanchez and the 5 of Luke Fenhouse. None of the bigger Xfinity Series teams are Fords. It's just so odd to see that at this level. Only 1 step below the Cup side where you have a third of the field are Fords. The likes of Penske, Wood Brothers, Front Row Motorsports. RFK. Halfway through stage 2. 10 lead changes, 2 cautions, 55 minutes of on-track activity, and 15 laps spent under the yellow. Sheldon Creed out in front. He has led for 10 laps, 31 for Jesse Love. He's led the most so far, 23 for Sam Mayer. Couple laps led for Taylor Gray, 2 led for Raja Karuth back at the end of stage 1 as well. Most positions have been gained since the restart. 20 for Gio Ruggiero, restarted 28th, already up to 8th. He has been great on these super speedway ovals, was top 5 for most of that truck race at times there late. Second at Daytona last week in the truck race. Wrecked out in the Xfinity event, but we'll see what he can do here today at Atlanta. Obviously, so far so good, not only since the restart, but quietly good performance entirely in this O'Reilly race. Love hopping back into the outside lane. Right between himself is Justin Allgaier, Sheldon Creed. So he got to the outside, got a quick pull in the draft behind Sheldon Creed. Did not waste any time in trying to get back down to the inside and pass Creed underneath of him. Exit of the corner, and Creed's going to get a shove down the backstretch from Allgaier, clear the pack into 3 again. Those Haas cars are both quick. Sam Mayer and Sheldon Creed were kind of pacing the field those first 20 or so laps. Creed lost his teammate because of a flat tire, but Sheldon's been up in the top 3 ever since. Jesse Love, although he was able to win stage 1, getting by Creed in the late going, Sheldon did a great job holding on to decent track positions, scores still pretty good stage points. And now here in stage 2, looking to do the same with just 20 laps to go until the next green-white checkered flag. A lot of Chevys up at the front of the field, all Chevys, in fact, inside the top 7 spots. Highest running Toyota, Brandon Jones, in 8th. Only other Toyota outside of Jones in the top 10 would be Gio Ruggiero, right there with him. So there's 2 Fords, 6 Toyotas, and then the rest are Chevrolet in the Xfinity Series. It's mostly Chevy in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series nowadays. Wish there was more of a battle amongst the manufacturers than what we have, but these guys still know how to race each other, and that's aggressively. A lot of them the same manufacturer, they still go at it every which way. Ton of lead changes already up at the front of the field just in this stage alone. Jesse Love's kind of fading back on that inside lane just a bit. He's in 6th, second car in line on the bottom with Carson Kvapil in front of him. Raja Karuth on the end of the front stretch the last lap was able to take the lead, so he'll lead this time by at the line his first green flag lap led of stage 2. There's a 3-wide pass to the inside of both Creed and Allgaier as they side drafted each other aggressively on the front stretch. Got by. Car in the wall. Turns 1 and 2. It looks to be the 19 of Gio Ruggiero, and he may have a flat front tire now. There's some sparks flying from around that right front fender. I believe the tire is cut. And I'm not sure if it was after he had hit the wall or if it was the cause of him hitting the wall, but regardless, he is coming to pit road. He's going to lose multiple laps. Battle for the lead continues on between Kvapil and his teammate Karuth. Karuth, the full-time rookie, the second-year driver Kvapil, both in search for the first win, and with Creed in third, each of the top 3 winless in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Fun to see what Raja can do here this season in that 88 ride. And being out in front at Atlanta, pretty solid. Creed had a big run on the front stretch, but it looks like he's going to be patient with it and not going to go for the race lead this time. Creed, Truck Series champion at one point in his career. Been in this level of racing the O'Reilly Series for a few years full-time now. 2 seasons with RCR, 1 full-time season with Haas. This is his 2nd season with the company. About 3 laps shy of halfway here tonight at Atlanta. And we're down to about 13 laps to go in stage number 2. Raja Caruth out in front of the field. Second is Justin Allgaier. Sheldon Creed third. Fourth is Carson Kvapil. And Corey Day in fifth. Up off the exit of turn 4. Side-by-side commercial break ongoing right now in the CW. Creed is going to lead this lap at the line by half a car length on the inside of the 88, but couldn't pull clear off of turn number 4 into 1 and 2. It's kind of a 5-car break away from the rest of the pack. And no RCR cars in this 5-car group. Hill's had his struggles today after starting 20th. Jesse Love won the first stage, but nowhere to be found currently after leading early towards the back half of the top 10. A lot of spacing going on right now at the very front of the pack. Not staying well organized. Slingshot moves at times to try to make passes 1 or 2 cars at a time on the bottom. Sweep back to the outside when having the opportunity to do so, but there isn't really a congested line on the bottom working together to try to get that lane going in the draft. It's where the advantage is up around the top. Caruth goes down to the middle group of the track through 3 and 4. That's something the RFK and Penske cars were able to do well in the Cup races, controlling when they got out in front in last season's Atlanta races, both the spring and the summer event. Caruth may be doing his research and knowing that, trying to do the same thing with his teammate Justin Allgaier behind him as they just look to control the race. In-house teammate Corey Day in third, and another JRM Chevy in fourth of Carson Kvapil. Sammy Smith up there in sixth. It's a good day for Junior Motorsports so far. Austin Hill, Jesse Love have found each other nose to tail. They're in the back half of the top 10, currently running 7th and 8th in the outside lane of the racetrack, trying to bypass the 20 of Brandon Jones. And we'll see if they try to make a run to the bottom together and bypass all these JRM Chevys in front of them. If you're going to dethrone the RCR cars, you're probably going to have to work together as a team. So far, that has been the case here. Caruth is not really riding back on the brakes much. Him and Allgaier just kind of get out. They got a decent gap over Corey Day. Day's having a hard time in third, trying to suck up close to him. And there's just a lot of spacing between those top 5 spots. Austin Hill pretty much hot on the heels, though, of that 6th place car, Sammy Smith, down the backstretch. That's going to be where things are going to tighten up a bit. Hill is not going to waste any time. He goes to the inside of Smith for 6th. Up off the exit of turn 4, not going to have enough of a spot to kind of squeeze in there. Sheldon Creed too close to the front bumper of Sammy. Down to 8 laps to go in stage 2. Top 10 late in the stage has Raja Caruth in the lead, Justin Allgaier second, Corey Day third, Carson Kvapil fourth, Sheldon Creed is fifth, 6th is Sammy Smith, Austin Hill 7th, Jesse Love 8th, Brandon Jones 9th, Parker Retzlaff back up to 10th. Couple laps past halfway. So we're pretty much fully under the lights now at the Atlanta racetrack, Echo Park Speedway. Onboard cam with Jeb Burton, middle of the pack. Not sure why, other than maybe to get another sponsor in there on the broadcast. It's very odd. Jeb outside the top 10 currently. Sammy Smith going to try to cut down to the bottom. Austin Hill tried to make a pass on him a couple laps ago. Couldn't do it, but got back in line in 7th in front of his teammate Love, who let him in. Sammy Smith now trying to get by the 00 of Sheldon Creed. He's not going to have enough room. And if he wastes too much time, he's not going to be able to get up in front of the 21. Hill's trying to close that gap. Get some clean air on the nose, going above the line that the 00 is running in front of him. Big run down the backstretch for Hill. And Sammy Smith is going to be stuck at the bottom after being a little too impatient, although he was trying to make a move because we're getting late in the stage, so you can't really fault him there. Brandon Jones finally going to go with him. And just that one extra car was able to give Sammy Smith enough momentum. He finally clears Sheldon Creed for 5th. Creed with a crossover into turn 1 as that battle for 5th continues. I think Austin Hill likes the handling of his car. He can't really drive up too close to the cars in front of him right now after being a little too loose in stage 1. I almost wonder if they went too far in the adjustment and now the car's too tight. Compacted in line behind the 8 of Sammy Smith right now. Sheldon Creed in the 00 still underneath Smith. They've been side by side for a lap or so. More than that if you count the fact that the 8 was underneath him the lap before and they crisscrossed lanes. Top 4 cars still single file at the front very tightly. Nose to tail are the top 3. A bit of a gap between 3rd and 4th where Corey Day and Carson Kvapil is. We'll see if Kvapil's going to be able to close the gap at all. Can't really get a push from behind because that's where Creed and Sammy Smith have been heavily side drafting each other, lap over lap. And it is beginning to be just a slight breakaway, which means the momentum runs at the very front with those 3 cars are going to be less and less for Allgaier to maybe try to pull out a line and win the stage on Carruth in the final lap or 2. Lap and a half to go this time by at the line. Hill with the over-under move on Sheldon Creed. Trying to pick up another spot. Not quite going to get there. Final lap, stage 2. Can Rajah Caruth hold on and get his first career Xfinity stage win? O'Reilly stage win. Allgaier maybe trying to get one last surge of momentum into turns 3 and 4. He didn't get a good push from behind, though, because Carson Kvapil takes over 3rd away from the 17 of Corey Day. Awesome job done for Rajah Caruth as he's going to win stage 2 pretty easily. Got out in front. Never looked back. First career stage win in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series for Caruth. 2nd in the stage, Justin Allgaier. 3rd, Carson Kvapil. 1, 2, 3, Junior Motorsports. Corey Day in 4th, Brandon Jones 5th, Sammy Smith 6th, 7th for Austin Hill, Parker Retzlaff 8th, Sheldon Creed 9th, Jesse Love rounds out the top 10. So that's the top 10 in the running order. And those drivers will all receive stage points in stage 2. 73 laps scheduled for the final stage of today's race. Brody Stanfield, thanks for tuning in. Job well done there for the 88. Connor Zilic won a lot of races in that car last season. Caruth trying to get his first win. Less starts on the season itself because first win of the year last year was at Coda for Zilic. And then he didn't win his 2nd race until a little longer into the season. It was after he came back from injury from Talladega. So no interruption in stage 2 for caution. We had that early crash at lap 5. That's the only incident of the race so far. This is our 3rd caution with the 2nd stage break at lap 90. 3 yellows, 14 lead changes, 16 laps and counting under caution. Again, 73 laps in stage 3 tonight. Rajah Caruth leads. And he's led for 21 laps, 3rd most in the race so far. Pit stops will be upcoming, maybe the final ones of the day. You're listening live on KRC to our full flag-to-flag coverage of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Atlanta 2nd race of the season. Endangered Sense, thanks for tuning in. NASCAR really lose that much money to where they can't show the race live on YouTube? I'm going to assume so. YouTube's not paying them the money that Fox Sports is paying them, or CW in this case, any of the broadcasting companies. You know, maybe if they get a deal with like YouTube TV down the line or something, maybe the next contract deal. But it's gonna be a while. No problem, Endangered Sense. Thanks for tuning in. We're past halfway to the goal for 100 likes on the stream. We are at 60 right now. We have 40 likes to go with about 70 laps remaining. So be sure to hit that like button so we can get to that like goal. Tomorrow start time for the Atlanta for the Atlanta Cup Series race will be at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll go live with our pre-race coverage. Green flag will be shortly after 3 p.m. Eastern. All live right here on the channel, flag to flag coverage.
Scoring leader with 19 points. And want to go back to something his crew chief Marty Lindley told me last week at Daytona. Said, I don't really know what fair expectations are for Raja. We just got to get out of Daytona and here with not being in a hole. Finished 10th last week. High point scores so far here at the end of stage 2.
Top 3 in stage points, all from Junior Motorsports as we head into the next stage of the race. It's the perfect time to fuel up with Arby's new $7.99 meat and 3-box. Arby's is giving you a whole lot of food with a classic roast beef or crispy fish sandwich and 3 delicious sides. That's 4 meal for your money. Scan the QR code to order now in the Arby's app. Arby's, we have the meats.
Arby's has fish.
How about
Just meat. Meat. Like,
yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
I think in the best interest of
Learn something new
everyone
every day.
involved, we should go to Progressive Pit Road.
Please.
Back to Dylan Welch.
And as we ride on board with the Arby's car, we look out the front windshield at Justin Allgaier, who said his car was pretty good. The only thing he asked for was just a little bit of stability help and some straight line speed if possible. So they'll try to find an adjustment that helps that. Chassis adjustment and I believe just right sides. Maybe, 4 tires for the 7 of Allgaier, Ken.
And his teammate Carson Quapple there in the one car middle of your screen. Still a bit free, but he said way better than the first run. Entry of 3 was the biggest struggle for him. You see that chassis adjustment. Teammate Raja group there at the bottom in the 88. That stage 2 winner starting to get a little tight off too. He said, put me up a number. They'll go back on their last adjustment. Those 4 tires going on the 88.
And now the race off Progressive Pit Road. William Sawalich, the first to come off. Guessing 2 tires there will follow up. Well, I thought that was William that popped out there. Our board here showing Carson Quapple, but that's a bit of a miscue there. So we'll follow up on exactly where everybody is as we make the race off the pit lane. And now we go to the replay, brought to you by Progressive. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit Progressive.com. There's Sawalich coming off first.
You're right to not see that.
I'm getting old, but I'm not that old. We'll reset the running order, tell you all about the strategy when we return.
All right. Full screen commercial break on the CW. A couple more lead changes during those pit stops under caution, and we'll await the restart to begin stage 3. Now less than 70 laps left. Second race of the O'Reilly Auto Parts season. Next weekend, they will be on their first road course race of the year at COTA. And that will be a Saturday afternoon affair. I'm going to be at COTA next week for the Cup race specifically, so there's not going to be any live commentary next weekend on the channel across all series. Just letting you all know. Again, no commentary next weekend on the channel, but there will be a race highlight video from the grandstands for Sunday's Cup race. I'll keep you posted in the community tab when we get into later of next week to remind you all. Mentioned it a couple times during the truck race earlier today. $39 likes away from our goal, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button. We have not missed our goal for likes on any streams yet this year. Across any of the top few series, ARCA as well, Rolex 24, we're so far so good. I mean, the JRM Chevy's running 1-2, 1-2-3 for a lot of that second stage. Once they got out there, they really controlled it up along the outside. They have a lot of speed that they're kind of able to stay away from cars, especially when running double wide around 4th, 5th on back. Maybe if there's more cars down on the bottom, they could do something a little bit better to try to catch up. But we haven't seen as many cars along the inside line try to make moves in the O'Reilly race versus maybe later in the truck race where we saw that happening on a couple of occasions. Maybe see a little bit more multi-lane racing in tomorrow's Cup race. There's action everywhere you look. Up and down through the field in the Cup races at Atlanta. It's going to be a lot of fun. $65. There we go. Now, the countdown is to 35. We got 35 more likes to go. Since it's the end of stage 2, we do have to end our chat poll for who you think is going to win today's race. 102 of you voted. And the most votes going to go to Justin Allgaier at 32%. Barely over other at 29%. Jesse Love, who won stage 1, 24% of the votes. And Austin Hill, 15% to win this race for Austin Hill. Don't think Allgaier's going to win. Well, he was second at the end of the stage. It's very possible. Yep. Hitting both the like and the subscribe button is free. Yes, it is. I don't have any channel memberships or anything like that right now, so everything I do here on YouTube is free of charge. KRC, your home for all NASCAR action across all 3 series all season long. Obviously, I know next week I'm going to a race, but a few times a year I do go to a race. I haven't been to Coda yet, so that'll be a lot of fun. Cross off a new track on the my bucket list because I'm trying to get to every track at least once.
Tire carrier for the 54 of Taylor Gray, Alex Morgan. We saw that stage 1 stop. He went and reached for that rope tire, got hit by his driver as Taylor was leaving the box. Stop 2 went a lot smoother than stop 1, but how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I signed up for it, so I was just trying to get it back, but I guess I got to be a little bit.
Have you ever taken a hit like that before?
Not like that. Not on the exit of pit road, but on the entry, I've had a couple clips, but nothing like that before. But I'm just glad the car is okay.
And we're glad you're okay. Again, that's tire carrier Alex Morgan. And guys, we talk about how a lot of these pit crew members are former athletes. A lot of them have played collegiate ball or professional ball. Some of them on the football field, some on the hockey rink. Those guys probably used to taking hits. Alex, though, yes, he was a former athlete, but he was on the diamond, the baseball field, a pitcher, so not quite used to maybe some of his teammates taking hits like they had on the ball field, but we are glad he is okay.
It's like a line drive right back up the middle when you're on the mound. By the way, Taylor Gray has recovered, and prior to the choose, he is in the 8th position. And now it is time for the Freeway Insurance Choose, where every lane choice can change the race outcome.
And Taylor went to the back and had driven back up inside of the top 10.
Hey, by the way, I want to point out, Sawalich took 2 tires. That's how he got the lead. Parker Retzloff came off second. He got 2. Raja Karuth got 4, was the race leader when they came down. He'll restart here in row 3 after losing a couple of spots on the pit lane.
Yeah, Nick Sanchez in 12th, who also took 2. He got blocked in his box. He's probably hoping wish he'd taken 4 at that point, being that far back. But for these 2 on 2 tires on the outside of the front here, man, they've got to go.
Well, because based on what we saw with Jesse Love, he was able to maintain for a while, but then faded back to 8th. And I thought he had one of the best cars. So, yep, Retzloff and Swalch are going to have their hands full if this runs green for a while.
Now we do some Starkey radio communications. Let's go to the 17.
So you're just playing with Raja. You got it to run lead. Right in the round. So last week, I just held behind, like I said, once we get there to.
Scan the QR code or visit Starkey.com to find a hearing provider near you.
That's the difference between having a car that's, sort of built to be fast in qualifying and low drag versus one that's built to have some downforce and be good on the long run. And we'll see who chose right as we go to the third stage.
Hey, another thought here. Last week at Daytona, hit the final stage, you knew you needed another pit stop. That's not the case tonight. They may get tires later depending on the cautions, but you don't have to for fueling. Echo Park.
All right, green flag is going to be back in the air. Stage 3 underway. William Sawalich, who won the race out of the pits, is the leader for the restart. Carson Kvapil inside of row 1. He's got 2 Junior Motorsports Chevys right behind him, one of which being Justin Allgaier, pushing both himself and the car in front of him out to the lead. A couple rows of 3 wide off turn 2. We haven't seen a ton of 3 wide racing, both in this race and the truck race earlier today. Hasn't really worked out very well for drivers who have tried to go 3 wide. Raja Karuth back a few rows in traffic after not cycling out quite as well out of the pits. Everybody topping off on fuel. It's going to be very tight to the end of this race to make it to the end. Well, 60 to 65 green flag laps our fuel window. We restarted with 64 laps to go. And in the event of overtime or multiple overtimes, that could end up laying in for something crazy happening there by way of fuel mileage as well. Kvapil out in front, Allgaier in second. Third is Corey Day. Sheldon Creed fourth. William Sawalich rounds out the top 5 in fifth as we're 2 green flag laps into the final stage. Raja Karuth up the middle 3 wide between Sammy Smith and Jesse Love trying to move forward. Scar bottoms out in the middle of the corner. I think he had contact from somebody underneath of him. I don't know if that was from Jesse Love or the other car behind Love, but what a moment for Raja Karuth. He loses several positions, but it could have been a lot worse after winning stage 2. Nearly wrecked early in stage 3. Product of losing track position. I haven't shown a replay of it yet, but I think they need to. That was a moment. I thought the sparks were him bottoming out on the racetrack, and I think it was because of the contact underneath of him. He's still in it, though, in the draft, just outside the top 10 now. Here's a replay. It was Austin Hill. No, it was the 2 of Jesse Love. Okay. Well, Love was underneath him, but it wasn't Love that made contact. There was another car, like Jeb Burton in the 27. Yeah, Jeb Burton. 27 car looked like he got tight up off of turn 2. Clipped the left rear corner panel of Karuth's race car, and that's where Karuth ended up having his bit of a slide and holds on. Settles back in on the outside. A lot of double wide racing back half of the top 10. Corey Day going to pull out of line, trying to make a move for second. He's got some help. Austin Hill in the 21 out of nowhere up inside the top 5. Going to go with him. Day side drafting off the 1 of Carson Kvapil. They'll be side by side for the lead down into the corner. Day slips up the track into the lead. And now all 3 of those Hendrick Chevys or JRM Chevys up against the wall. Justin Allgaier, Corey Day, and Carson Kvapil against the fence. They're trying to make it back into the pits as we stay green. It's going to be a long way back around, and caution's finally out. Unbelievable. That's the second incident Corey Day has caused here today at Atlanta. This one takes himself, Allgaier, and Kvapil out. They were in the top 3. There was on the bottom of the racetrack. He got too tight, washed up the racetrack, overdrove it. I mean, that's simply what it was. He just overdrove the car, got up into the left rear of the one. Innocent bystander, and that was the 7 of Allgaier behind them both. Nowhere to go. He ends up piling into the wall. A lot of damage to the right side of all 3 race cars. So he took out 4 cars on lap 5. And now he takes 3 more out, including 2 partnered teammates at Junior Motorsports. I think it's listed as a Hendrick Chevy for the 17. And not a JRM Chevy for Corey Day. But, I mean, aligned teammates and himself involved in this crash. Just overdrove it. Went off into the corner. I mean, he wasn't pinched a ton. He didn't go all the way to the bottom of the track like Kvapil was probably expecting him to go. If you look at the rows of cars on the bottom behind Day, they were down on the white-yellow line. And Corey Day was like a half a lane to a full lane above that, because it almost looked like Austin Hill was going to go to the bottom 3 wide underneath of everybody because there was enough space there. And miscalculation, misjudgment again for Corey Day. Second time here this evening. So Corey Day's wrecked a total of 7 cars across 2 incidents so far. Allgaier's got a lot of damage. He might be in the garage area for a while. That right front was severely damaged with the suspension. Corey Day and Kvapil might be able to continue, but I don't think they're going to stay on the lead lap. Yikes. It's crazy because I thought Corey Day cleaned this up last season. It's kind of looking like how he was at the start of his truck and at the time Xfinity Series runnings. And then by the end of the season, he kind of cleaned it up, and he was fast. And he was putting full races together, and now early this season between Daytona and here, I mean, he's caused multiple crashes in each of the 2 season openers. Now, it is his first trip to both Daytona and Atlanta. He didn't race here at any of his truck or O'Reilly starts last season, but even still, I mean, there's other drivers making their first starts at these tracks too. Rajah Caruth hasn't made a start at Atlanta in the O'Reilly Series. He's in similar equipment. He went out there, he's ran a clean race, and he won a stage. So, it's unfortunate too, because he was up inside the top 2 having a good run. Didn't have a great qualifying effort, but despite making that early mistake, he did well to recover from that early, and now this. Junior needs to hire Day and pay him to watch. I mean, we've seen some over-aggressive young drivers in the past, and some of them are able to pan out and still make their way after honing in their racecraft, and some are not. And Corey Day's definitely got some work to do. He's got raw natural talent. There's no denying that. But that can only take you so far. You're causing multiple wrecks every week. Let alone not only causing multiple wrecks every week, but not winning races either. So that's not a good combination. He's got the equipment. Again, he is full-time in that 17 car this season. So it's going to be interesting to see how much, if he grows as a driver in this series from, races 1 and 2 to race 33 at the end of the season. Definitely behind the 8 ball on points to start the year if he's trying to make the 12-man chase. He's going to have poor finishes in these first 2 races. Joey Gase had a mechanical failure. Harrison Burke, Blaine Perkins, Ryan Sieg, Kyle Sieg, they were all out of the race from the early crash, and now multiple laps down for Quapple, Allgaier, Days at least 1 lap down. Sam Mayer was 2 laps down because of a flat tire. He's 1 lap down, back on track. Gio Ruggiero, stage 2, also pitted because of a flat right front tire after he made contact with the wall. He's still 2 laps down. We'll go through the full field running order here. Austin Hill leads, Sheldon Creed in second, William Sawalich is third. Fourth is Sammy Smith, Jesse Love in fifth, Parker Retzlaff is sixth, Nick Sanchez seventh, Ross Chastain eighth, Jeb Burton ninth, Austin Green rounds out the top 10. 11th is Josh Williams, Brandon Jones 12th, Rajah Crew 13th, Patrick Starpoli 14th, Taylor Gray 15th, Dean Thompson 16th, Garrett Smithley 17th, Josh Balicki in 18th, Mason Maggio 19th, Jeremy Clements in 20th, Nick Lights 21st, Luke Fenhouse 22nd, 23rd for LeVar Scott, Chad Fincham 24th, Ryan Ellis 25th, Brendan Poole last car in the lead lap at 26th, and Corey Day a lap down 27th, Sam Mayer 28th, Gio Ruggiero 2 laps down in 29th, same for Cody Ware in 30th, Carson Quapple 3 laps down in 31st, same for Justin Allgaier 32nd, and Anthony Alfredo 33rd. 5 cars out of the race at least right now. Joey Gase 34th, Harrison Burton 35th, Blaine Perkins 36th, Ryan Sieg 37th, and Kyle Sieg 38th. We'll take a quick break while we await the next restart. You're listening live on KRC, full flag to fly coverage of this year's spring O'Reilly Series race at Atlanta. Lots and lots of racing to go. Larson ran late models a while before going to Cup. He did not run sprint cars his whole career, then switched to NASCAR. He was, man, I'm trying to think of how old Larson was. He was pretty young. He wasn't as young as Corey Day is, 1920. I think Larson had a couple more years on him when he was first getting into NASCAR part-time. Larson ran 3 to 4 years of late models before he got a Cup. Yeah. Corey Day only has a couple years experience of racing in general, considering he's at the age of 19. He might be 20 now. I don't know when his birthday is because I think he was 19 last season. Corey Day. He is, I think he's 20. Yeah, he's 20. His birthday was November 28th during the off season, so he was 19 during the year last year, but 20 years old now. Hal Larson ran a modified race at Daytona, too, before getting to Cup full time. So he was driving anything and everything on asphalt that he could to try to help hone his craft from the dirt racing world. Seat time makes you better. It's hard to get worse when you're behind the seat of a race car. Week to week, year to year. Larson was in Cup by like 21. Was he really? Well, how old's Larson now? Because his rookie year was 2014. Kyle Larson. He's 33. He'll be 34 in the summer. And his rookie year was 2014 in Cup. So 12 years ago. Yeah, so I mean, he would have been 21 going on 22 in the Cup Series when he was full-time. For his rookie season, he turned 22. Well, we'll be getting to the green flag shortly. First time Austin Hill has led today after missing the 3 cars crashing in front of him at the front of the field after an incident started by Corey Day. He is the leader outside of row 1. Kind of split with his teammate Jesse Love, who's actually inside of row 2 behind Sawalich. Green flag back in the air. Former teammate Sheldon Creed is behind Austin Hill. Creed's been very quietly a good driver here tonight. He's been up in the top 5 all day. And the 3 JRM Chevys out, despite the fact that they had such a promising start with speed. Now, Raja Karuthu was actually out of the picture for the lead because he had lost track position on the restart, had a moment where he ended up falling out of the top 10. He's trying to play catch-up. He's obviously got a fast car, but now he's not going to have any teammates kind of help with him because the only other one left in the race is Sammy Smith. Right now, Sammy's up in 3rd. Sammy Smith is a 2-time Talladega winner in the Xfinity Series, so we'll see if he can end up getting the win here today at Atlanta. Hill controls the pack off turn 2. First time we've seen him in clean air today. Again, first laps led of the race. A little less than 50 laps to go now at Atlanta, Echo Park Speedway. Corey Day's still in the race, by the way, in the 17 car. I don't know if he's... Well, he's off the lead lap. He's going 3 wide to the bottom. He's not wasting any time trying to get spots back. Oh, my goodness. Now, he would be battling with Sam Mayer for the free pass position. So, Corey Day, Sam Mayer, both 1 lap down. They're going to battle for the free pass spot. Honestly, despite how hard Day had hit the wall, he actually had less damage than that of his Chevy counterparts, Quapple and Allgaier. Quapple, Allgaier both out of the race. They're 10 laps down and counting as we race under green. So Day 1 lap down continues, the other 2 out of the race. Over under on Corey Day causing a 3rd accident. You guys take it? You guys think he's gonna get a 3rd one in here? I just feel like he's gonna race too hard for this free pass spot, or maybe he's got too much damage on the right side of the car and he blows a tire again or something. I don't know. I don't feel very confident he's gonna make it to the end of the race without causing another incident. Maybe he's going for the trifecta here this evening. I would not be shocked if Austin Hill leads every lap between now and the finish of the race. Caruth got close to the most laps led, but I don't think he quite got there yet. 22 laps led for him after winning stage 2. Sam Mayer led a lot early. He's battling for the free pass position. Remember, Mayer actually started on pole, and he led 23 laps all back at stage 1. Spent a lap down ever since the middle of that stage when he had the flat tire after contact on track with Taylor Gray during green flag conditions. Jesse Love, who was the stage 1 winner, has led for the most laps so far, 31. Austin Hill has led for 14. Sheldon Creed for 14. 5 for Sawalich, all up in the top 5 right now are those 4 drivers. It's our second caution for incident in the race, with the 1, the 17, and the 7 being involved in their incident. Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed, 1-2 at the front of the field. If there's one guy that Creed might not want to finish second to, it's that guy in front of him. Bit of a feud at the end of the tenure for Sheldon Creed at RCR. Most laps led on drafting tracks all time. Austin Hill 901 to Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 961. Jesse Love already in the top 5 as well, which really just goes to show how much speed both RCR cars have. And they're about to be running 1-2 because Jesse Love gets to the inside into turns 1 and 2 on Sheldon Creed. A little bit of a wiggle by Love, but he'll stay nose to nose on the back straightaway. And I'm sure if that 21 car can pull the 2 along and the 2 can get clear of the 0-0, they might really take control of this race. The one caution we had for incident here in this final stage helps save gas. We went green with 64 laps to go when we started the final stage. Final stage entirely 73 laps. But green flag laps is 60 to 65 on a full fuel run. So having a handful of caution laps, now we're running slightly less than 60 green flag laps to the end. Even if it stayed green from now, I think a lot of these teams, if not all of them, should make it on fuel. If we go into overtime, we'll have more questions about that later, but for right now, I think they're all looking good. Here's Carson Quapple outside the infield care center with Kim Kuhn.
First things first, the whole up one Arby's junior motorsports team and the whole picture those guys really did their jobs today and brought me a really fast race car and we had some really good pit stops and we were looking to be fighting for a win at the end, but just was controlling the race there, trying to control the top line and I think we got free or the 17 got free under me and washed up into us and I thought I was gonna have it saved and slapped the right front and took the suspension out. So just hate it for this whole team. These guys brought me a really fast race car and just didn't get to the end.
Spin for Jeremy Clements, no caution. Sam Mayer's like, come on, throw it. I want the free pass. But we let him race on.
Yeah, out of the way, which is why NASCAR didn't throw a caution there for Clements spinning. He didn't hit hard against the inside walls. Kind of a lazy spin off turn 2. He's going to get to pit road. Down at the bottom of the track, no debris either. NASCAR's been very consistent with that this season, where if there's a spin or an incident of any kind that doesn't result in a ton of damage, they don't have to get an ambulance or any kind of safety work out onto the racetrack. Track is cleared. They're going to keep it green. When you get the multi-car incidents where cars are kind of scattered across the track and becomes a situation where they deem necessary that there is a hazard and we do need a full course yellow, they'll do that. I know they have a new driver, or not a driver, a new person in charge of race control. I like it. I like it, honestly. If this is the consistency we're going to get, keep the race green for as long as you possibly can. In the event of something, catastrophic happening or the track's blocked, yeah, throw the yellow. But we got single car lazy spins, keep it green. Mike G, thanks for tuning in. I know you were in for the truck race earlier. Welcome back now for the O'Reilly race, at least to the chat side of things. A little less than 40 laps to go. Corey Day's actually pacing, despite the right side damage, ahead of Sam Mayer. Justin Allgaier in the 7 going to get an interview outside the infield care center.
It's like Corey Day. Yep, you see it right there is in front of Sam Mayer. He's going to get the free pass. And with well over 30 laps to go, we're at 38 right now, so we'll get a restart inside of 35 to go.
All right, so caution's out on the speedway. Cody Ware dropping some debris on the front stretch. He's trying to limp back to pit road. There's a couple pieces of sheet metal out there. So with the debris on the front stretch, Corey Day going to get the free pass. He's back on the lead lap. And I'm sure we'll get the interview with Justin Allgaier here shortly, but we just happened to go under caution right before that. Maybe during the yellow we'll get an interview and more fuel saving going on during the course of this yellow flag. And here's Allgaier.
What happened? Yeah, I mean, it just unfortunately a spot for us to be in, right? I thought we had a really good logistics Chevrolet today. I was really proud of what we were able to accomplish, not only on our team with the 7, but all of Junior Motorsports, because it was cool to be up there lined up and have all of our cars kind of leading at different points. And, you're in those moments and I don't know what caused the events that they kind of put us in there, but, you're just riding along and unfortunately, just get right there. And the only option was to go low and I knew there was cars below us, but just that little bit of damage was enough to break some suspension parts. So I hate it for our team. I hate it for everybody at Junior Motorsports. Andrew Overstreet had done a fantastic job in this whole 7 team of building a race car. We just come up a little bit short this afternoon.
The big thing here for both these drivers, Carson Quapple, Justin Allgaier, ton of stage points. And, it doesn't get you over the hump, but it minimizes the damage when you're racing in the draft anywhere.
All right. Just over 100 people watching concurrently. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Under caution with about 37 laps to go following debris on the racetrack off of Cody Ware's race car. Looks like CW headed to commercial. We'll take a break of our own. You're listening live as our Flag the Flag getting closer and closer to the finish of the race. Which means that we have to get to that light goal, ladies and gentlemen. Our goal for likes on the stream is 100, and we have just over that many people watching, only 68 likes. We have hit our like goal every stream so far this year, even the truck race earlier today as well. So be sure to hit that like button so we can keep our streak alive. And we'll obviously try to go for it again tomorrow also. Our Cup Series race coverage tomorrow begins at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on the channel. No live commentary streams next week at COTA, which will be the next O'Reilly race, and that's because I will be at COTA for the Cup Series race. That'll be the first race I'm attending this season, so sorry with it being early in the year, but I haven't been to COTA before, and I know some people that live down in Houston, going to go visit them, just like I did when I went to Texas Motor Speedway and Talladega back-to-back weeks last year. Took the extended break. It's just going to be a weekend getaway, but going to be gone for next weekend, so I'll get some race highlights uploaded from the grandstands. I'll be sitting in turn 1. I got tickets for turn 1. Congrats to Kyle Busch earlier. Yes, Regine stating that in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, Regine. By the way, Kyle Busch, winner of that truck race earlier today. 3 in a row for Busch in the Atlanta truck race. Had some good runs there in Cup recent years as well. Obviously part of that 3-wide photo finish in the 8 of RCR. And we'll see what he can do tomorrow. He had a pretty solid Daytona Speed Week by way of speed, so I'm sure he'll have a fast hot rod, as Clint Boyer would say, for tomorrow's race. I can't wait. I love me some Cup Series racing. Honestly, Atlanta's been one of the more fun racetracks on the schedule. Second week of the year, we had a great speed week at Daytona last week, and Atlanta's been fun so far, and I think the Cup race is going to be one of the better races of the year tomorrow, as it has been the last couple of years. Some wild finishes the last 2 spring races, nearly 3 wide in both. 3 wide under the caution flag last year and under green the year before at the time of yellow. Let you listen into the CW broadcast when they come back from commercial under this caution. Again, Adam Alexander, Jamie McMurray, Parker Kligerman in the booth. Remote location for them in Charlotte Studios today.
Jesse Love, off to it again. They're here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Austin Hill will win the tag back to the start-finish line and become a 4-time winner at Atlanta.
I can't believe it.
Big one crash down the back straightaway. Here's Austin Hill. To back. He does it again at Atlanta. Austin is also at Atlanta. On track, 5 wins. He always seems to find a way. You know, if they put a bowling alley in here and had a bowling tournament, I'd have Austin would win. He just always wins here.
Or you're good one.
PBA is rolling out of the CW. Don't miss 10 weeks of exciting action. And it all starts with one of the sport's biggest events. The PBA on the CW premieres with a Players Championship tomorrow, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. It's right here on the CW.
I need bumpers.
I appreciate you laughing at my back.
No, that's good. I don't know where you're going, though.
You need bumpers in bowling or just in life?
Both.
I don't know.
And
Here's
on the
Kim.
racetrack, yes.
What's up,
Yeah,
Kim?
let's get a Toyota driver update. We're getting a Toyota driver update on William Sawalich. We talked during our pre-race about his drafting awareness and the comfortability he has and how it's increased exponentially from last year to this year. That showed up last weekend at Daytona. Even though he got caught up in a late accident, he ran up front for the first 100 laps of the race, leading 2 laps. He's also spent a ton of time up front tonight. Although he's in 9th place right now, he has made his way to the front of the field here and there tonight. And part of that confidence that he has now in this draft race has come from experience, but a good portion of it comes from his spotter, Drew Herring. I talked with William this weekend. He said he is one of the best on the spotter stand. In terms of balance, he's bounced between plowy and free all night. They've massaged on that race car right now, just riding a little bit tight for the last 33 laps of this race.
Thank you, Kim. Austin Hill takes the outside lane as we do the freeway insurance choose, where every lane choice can change the race outcome. Fans having a good time. And you know who might have a good time on this restart? Those drivers that came down here, made a pit stop, got fresh tires. Taylor Gray is on the list. Luke Finhouse. Parker Retzloff came down and got 4. Corey Day made a pit stop, but I think he had put his tires on earlier when they got the damage. But either way, he's back on the lead lap and very much a player here.
And I think crucially for Retzloff, he was on 2 tires, basically. So that was a good choice to get those 4 tires. He was also worried about some nose damage on the front of that car. But I think this can play out for him. He's had a really fast car, and now he's got this extra grip with 33 to go. He can still get back there. And in his favor, he scored more stage points these first 2 races than he had all of last season.
How about that? Nick Sanchez, really, really good at this racetrack. Pair of top 5s last year, one here in June, and he'll restart toward the front of the pack. He's another driver, though, that took 2 tires when he made a pit stop at lap 94. So keep an eye on that 25 as we go over the course of the last 30 laps of this event. Going to be 32 to go when we return to the green flag. And surprisingly, it's all RCR out front. We didn't know if we'd get there today, but here we are, rinse and repeat in the draft.
Creed was a great pusher on that last restart with Austin Hill. Expect to see more of that again.
Hill and Love through the Echo Park restart zone.
Sheldon does it again. Total disconnect on the bottom there. All 3 of them hooked up on the top. But really, this is what Sheldon Creed has to do. He's got to push Austin out here to break the plane of the bottom lane, get away from it, and then he's got to hope to back up eventually and be able to generate some momentum to make this pass. So you see Jesse Love with a big run down into 3.
4th car line, outside lane, Raja. Craig is going to clear it right here. Yes, down to the inside. They continue to race, and he's out front.
All right, erase everything I said. That's exactly what you didn't want to have happen for Sheldon Creed. There are 2 things for Sheldon comes down in front of you.
Hill in front of Love. Creed is right there. Sammy Smith right behind him. Raja Caruth.
Curious to see if Jesse moves with Austin Hill right now can generate the run that we did not see Sheldon Creed be able to do. Sheldon has been a really good pusher, but as I watch him, it's just the gap seems to stay a little too big on the 00. The 2, though, has been able to get a little push here from the 00. See if he can do anything with it. Stay in line.
Got my eye on that 88 from Caruth. 1 stage 2, a second stage was
Disappeared for a little while.
I think, he's just got to get the momentum here. Start to have those island hops that he did earlier.
But I would say what a statement he has made.
Yes.
Because if you're at the front all night, you don't really learn. He was put behind the 8 ball, but has been able to find his way back to the front. Major statement about his maturity.
Parker, I think you make a great point about how he was able to island hop earlier in the race. Unfortunately, when it gets down to the end, everybody knows that you did that earlier in the race, and the spotters will tell him, hey, be careful. Remember what the 88 did earlier on, or an ex-driver. Guys all tend to remember that.
Well, you talk about potential teammate help. His only team car up there now is Sammy Smith with Quapple and Allgaier out of the race. Although, as you talked about earlier,
Here we go.
teammates don't play as beautiful here. Creed tucked up behind Love. Will they make a move around Hill?
That was a great perspective we had from up top. You could see both Creed and Jesse Love being able to generate that run. I thought they were going to get there. Jesse Love, though, opted to stay in line. It's late in the race, so if he makes that move and doesn't make the pass, he has the potential to fade way back. All those cars lined up on the outside. Look, he's going to do it again right here. See if that 00 can get to his bumper. Give him a push all the way down the front stretch. Here we go.
There. Not quite the momentum.
No. Oh, it's great, though. I love watching Jesse
Here
work.
comes Jesse. This is a late one.
2 cars in the row. Jesse Love looking for the race lead, trying to get around his teammate. Side by side for the top spot. Oh, there's contact. And Creed trying to take advantage of the 00.
Oh, they lost the momentum. Creed's going to be able to slide up in front of him right here.
Ross Chastain is right there. So is Brandon Jones. Incredible stuff. 00 on point.
That played out perfectly for Sheldon Creed. The oversharing cars slowed each other down. He had a monster run off of turn 2. Utilized it perfectly. Sheldon Or, I mean, Austin Hill and Jesse Love got together, almost heading sideways down the backstretch.
And Jesse was so worried about getting back in behind Austin so he didn't lose all that position. He clipped his bumper a little bit, hurt their momentum as you see Austin now trying to get back to the inside of the 00.
Can tonight be the night as Ross Chastain to the bottom here? Not quite the momentum. 15 second place finishes for Sheldon Creed, leading with 25 to go right now.
3 times he's been a runner-up in the draft. Maybe tonight is the night for the man that's been a bridesmaid so many times. 3 This is how he got the top spot. Look at this though live. Chastain trying to take it away. Push for Brandon Jones. Jeff Burton is there. And Taylor Gray on those pressure tires is right back at the front.
That was a mistake by Austin Hill to get to the middle there.
Oh, wow.
3-4.
I think Austin Hill's going to be okay, though. That bottom line's going to be the one that struggles right here. The momentum's going to be on the outside.
Sammy!
To it.
Corey did. Oh, no, that's Caruth. It was the other.
Tell you what, Austin
Thought it was Day.
through there. That's kind of the old Austin Hill. It's what we're used to seeing. Creed's able to stay on his outside, though. I'm telling you, where he was a lap ago, Parker, to where he is now. 21 car has got a lot of speed in it here at the end of this race. He's got his teammate right behind him. Oh, Raja.
Wow.
And teammates there, Sammy Smith and him. He went to the high side that's so tough, took the air off of Sammy.
Oh,
pushed him off
Jesse.
The track. 3 wide again for second here. Brandon Jones getting pushed by Jeff Burton on the bottom.
That's tight.
Going to be 22 laps to go. You think about how strong Jordan Anderson was. The boss man driving the 32 last week. Inside the top 5 at Daytona. This week it's Ross Chastain, and he is delivering from.
Look at this mess.
Smith has a flat tire.
Oh, there he goes.
8 William Sawalich collected.
I saw
Dang.
the game chasing it all the way through the trioval, just trying to get woed up.
LeVar Scott in the 45 got damage.
Start pulling a little bit of damage there.
Nick Lights, Taylor Gray, who was coming through on those fresher tires, beat up.
What a race, believe
Good
it.
eyes by you, by the way.
Wow. Well, even at 49 years old,
I
Parker, I can still see a TV monitor.
You know, I think about this for Joe Gibbs Racing. All 4 of their Toyotas failed to finish last week at Daytona. 3 of them involved in this crash here with just over 20 to go.
That's such a shame for Sammy Smith. Doing a great job once again on these drafting races. Perennially there in the top 10 and top 5. You point this out, Jamie.
Yeah, we got the right car marked here. It's the 8. See if there's any contact. I don't think anything from right there caused that, but you see how that car's dancing, wiggling? It's got like a left rear, right rear tire down. He's just trying to hang on to it.
Well, this is from when he got together there with his teammate Raja. So that was about a lap earlier. Out of 2, they got together a little bit on the high side. Raja was to his outside on the right rear. Took some air off his spoiler. He went up the track. They touched. I'm sure that cut that tire down. You point out the wiggles down the straightaway. That's the indication something is wrong. And now he's just hanging on. He's trying to hold it on to it.
Yeah. Speaking of Raja, I mean, look at the 88 dive down
That's
and
basic.
miss that.
He gets a little left side damage hitting the 87 of Austin Green for Raja.
And hey, celebrate Austin Green, who's knocking on the door of the top 10 of the draft.
Oh, Brandon Poole gets caught up in that as well. Ryan Ellis, LeVar Scott come in from the back.
Mason Maggio, 91, got some of that.
And they're just, LeVar Scott right there. He got on the brakes, lost the rear, and now you're just chasing it the whole way, hoping the path opens up.
Hey, it eliminates some really good cars here. Free pass goes to Sam Mayer, who will be back on the lead lap.
Right here is
Yeah,
the
so this is
contact
here.
that Parker was referencing. It probably did cut down that right rear tire, a slow leak, maybe cut the sidewall a little bit. Lap later, we see him have that issue. If you had your memory in my eyes, we would be a team. We would be good.
Maybe that's how we end up here.
Maybe
This job.
Yeah, that's good.
They saw that.
Just proud to be your teammate.
Yeah, it's here too. And I like how you heard that. And out.
Believe me, all the way is a phrase I've heard a lot in my life, okay? Let's get an update on Austin Hill. Here's Kim.
Yeah, if you guys remember when I talked to Austin Hill yesterday during qualifying, I asked him how many friends he has out there, and he said, well, for most of the race, I've got one friend. That's my teammate, Jesse Love. And then he said, when it gets down to the end of the race, probably 20, 25 laps to go, I have no friends. Well, we might have just seen that in play. We saw Jesse Love get a little racy with his teammate, Austin Hill, possibly costing both of them the lead. Here's what Austin thought about the move. Here's in-car communication, courtesy of Starkey.
Well, he doesn't want to hear the win. Yeah, I'll do it here. I'll just do everything here.
Well, that's what happens when you win 5 times at a track, right? And your teammate wants to beat you. It's the way it works. We're competitive and totally understand. You see these two guys side by side. This is where Jesse tries to get back in line behind him.
And I think the problem with the move, Jesse, was it was late in the turn, and Jesse had done some percentage. Yes, where you do that earlier in the dogleg, because then you have the advantage of having a shorter distance. You can shortcut the track down in the turn one. He did it so late in the turn one, it was going to take a miracle to be able to clear the 21, and that leaves them side by side and just leaves them both vulnerable.
Yeah, the one thing I would say is if you're thinking logically, right? You're thinking the way that Austin Hill's thinking. If you're in Jesse Love's position, do you just try to catch him off guard?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe they're going to run high. Maybe.
Right? He doesn't think this is going to happen.
But he doesn't have the run.
Right.
You let your guard down, and you referenced that earlier. That happens. You let your guard down for just a second. Oh, I wasn't ready for that. And the pass could have happened.
Yeah, it's funny. Last week he wins at Daytona, and after the race, they asked Austin Hill in the media center about having help in the draft. Here's what he said.
I was very surprised. There was a few times that, the 88 made a move on me one time. He made a great move, got inside of me, and his teammate, like the one, didn't even go with him. And I'm like, well, that just helps me. I appreciate it, So there's a lot of times that like I don't have any friends out there a lot of the times, but I have friends, like, because they're screwing each other over, and then it's helping me.
I don't disagree. We pointed out in the pre-race where especially the JRM teammates were racing each other so hard, they sort of gave him the win in stage 2 in some respects at Daytona. But in this situation, I think part of why Jesse makes that move, though, to defend it in some respects, is it's so hard as you get late in this race when you run the top side not to take a run, because you might not get that chance again.
Let's go down to Kim.
Yeah, you see the 88 on the left of your screen of Rajah Caruth. He did get a little bit of damage. They're going to put 4 fresh tires on it, fuel, and clear the fenders. Corey Day also in.
Sixth caution of the day, 10 cars involved, including this dynamic duo.
That's not confusing for the spotters. Those cars have been around each other all day long. The red number being the only difference between those two schemes. They even have the same stripe on the side at this point in the race.
And how about the fact that, we're eliminating some guys, and Sam Mayer now gets back on the lead lap, and you think about how dominant he was early after starting on the pole, tire
Poor
issue.
Sam. He's been riding around 2 or 3 laps down for 3/4 of the race.
And we thought he was going to get to pre-pass Corey Day, and was able to get by him and steal that spot. Racing has just been outstanding here tonight. And this caution took out some really good players. Restart when we return.
Less than 20 laps to go at Atlanta. I'll take you from here to the finish now. We'll go through the full field running order, awaiting what could be the final restart of the race. Ross Chastain is now in the lead for the first time today, taking it just before the caution flag. Sheldon Creed in second place, still in search for his first career win at the O'Reilly Series level. Austin Hill is in third, and Jesse Love in fourth after losing control of the race but battling back up inside the top 5 together. Brandon Jones is in 5th, Jeb Burton in 6th. 7th place is Parker Retzlaff, Nick Sanchez 8th, Dean Thompson 9th. Rounding out the top 10, Austin Green in the 87. Josh Williams in 11th, Josh Balicki 12th, Garrett Smithley 13th, Rajah Caruth 14th, 15th for Nick Lights. 16th is Sam Mayer. He was a lap down not that long ago. Luke Fenhouse in 17th, Patrick Starpoli 18th, Ryan Ellis 19th, and 20th is Brennan Poole. Corey Day back to 21st, Mason Maggio 22nd, Taylor Gray 23rd, Chad Fincham 24th as the last car in the lead lap. William Sawalich in the crash, quite a bit of damage. He's currently scored 25th, 26th for LeVar Scott, Anthony Alfredo 27th, Gio Ruggiero 28th, Sammy Smith 29th, and 30th, Jeremy Clements. Cody Ware 31st, Carson Kvapil 32nd, 33rd, Justin Allgaier. Joey Gase 34th, Harrison Burt 35th, Blaine Perkins 36th, Ryan Sieg 37th, and Kyle Sieg 38th. Coming up on lap 148 of 163, obviously in the final stage, just over 2 hours into this race, 6 cautions, 20 lead changes, 39 laps under yellow. 3 cautions per incident in stage 3, none in stage 2, 1 in stage 1. And the 2 stage breaks make up our 6 yellows. Can Chastain hold on to win for Jordan Anderson Racing? That'd be a cool story by way of the team going to victory lane, being driven by the 32. We usually see Jordan Anderson in these super speedway races himself, battling up in contention at times, but able to get Ross Chastain behind the wheel, and he's doing a fantastic job per usual. Sheldon Creed, 16 laps led for him in second. Austin Hill, Jesse Love have led for 32 and 31 laps apiece in this race, the most of any drivers. Maybe not a surprise knowing that we're at a drafting Atlanta racetrack. And we're going to be setting up for a fun finish. Looks like Sam Mayer might have had a tire going down right before the caution came out. And I think he was able to pit under the yellow and stay on the lead lap. Second time he's had a tire going down today. I think fresh tires are going to pay off huge dividends to those that have not pitted at all in this final stage, because I've seen tires matter quite a bit at this drafting Atlanta track, and so many comebacks from drivers in late laps with not many left to kind of slice and dice their way through the field. I do think that's part of how Corey Day was able to get up inside the top 10 so quickly. I believe he just came back to pit road for tires again. Mayer in 16th. Raja Karuth in 14th, I believe, is the first of those on fresh tires. The top 13 cars stayed out of the pits. So we'll pay attention from 14th on back if any of those drivers are going to have a shot to fight for the win here in these closing laps. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. We're live every NASCAR race weekend for Truck Xfinity, Truck O'Reilly, and Cup Series races, as well as select other motorsport events. Cup practice and qualifying every weekend. Qualifying rained out this morning, so it was going to be a triple header on the channel, turned into a double header. Tyler Reddick will be on the pole for tomorrow's Cup race at Atlanta. Joey Logano outside of row 1 will be starting second, and we'll go live for that at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on the channel. I'll be at COTA next week, so no live commentary next weekend, but then we'll be back that following week as NASCAR heads west. There'll be race highlight videos from the grandstands, any races I attend in person this year, and again, that first one will be at COTA next Sunday. Some of the races I go to, I'll be able to do live commentary from like hotels and stuff, but I'm going to visit some other people while I'm down in Houston, so I'm not going to be able to do that next weekend. But we will be live right back here again the following week, and we've still got some racing to finish up yet this weekend, so all NASCAR season long, tune in here for weekly content. Live race reactions, commentary, just like this. We're going to have 15 to go now. We're going to have 14 laps left on the restart. And Chastain is the leader. Jordan Anderson Racing. There's another Jordan Anderson Chevrolet in 6th. That's Jeb Burton. Blaine Perkins got taken out in the early incident back on lap 5. So only 2 of their cars are left, but both inside the top 10 and very much have a shot to win this race. Will this be the final restart? How will things go? We had about a 20-lap green flag run to the end of the truck race earlier today. Austin Hill inside of row 1 with his teammate Jesse Love. They were 3rd and 4th. The outside lanes taken by the 32, the 00. Green flag back in the air. Good launch for Chastain. A great push nose to tail from Sheldon Creed. They got to get these two all the way out in front into turns 1 and 2. Chastain clear of the pack. Sheldon Creed lets go middle of the corner. Problems for the 88. Flat right front tire for Austin Green. Tough break. He restarted in 10th. He's just trying to get out of harm's way and get back into the pits as they head down the back straightaway. And he's not going to be able to get down to the bottom of the track, but he's bottoming out a ton. We'll see if we stay green. Right now we do. Off turn 4, side by side for the lead. Now the 88's got a problem. A little bit of a tire rub maybe on the left front for Raja Karuth. He's rallied his way back up to 7th after winning stage 2. 88 car still smoking. Actually, I think it's the right front, not the left front that's rubbing. Down the backstretch. Carruth to the inside. He just pitted for 4 fresh tires. Well, that looks like it's rubbing way too much. Chastain's done a fantastic job holding on to the lead since the restart. He's got 12 laps left to hold on for a win. Big block to the high side for Brandon Jones, who's really up in the top 5 for one of the first times today. Now the 88 has those problems with that flat tire. He stayed out too long, hard hit into the outside wall for the 92. That's going to bail out the 88. He's going to be able to come to pit road. Another hit into the inside retaining wall. Head on. That's Josh Williams. What happened to Williams? He got turned up the racetrack right in front of Carruth, who's trying to get to pit road. And then takes another nasty hit head on into the inside wall. Window net's down. Good to see. There's 2 pretty hard head-on hits, really. Right front and then nose first into the inside wall. And caution's out with just 11 laps to go at Atlanta. That really bailed Rajah Carruth out. He needed a caution or he was going to lose multiple laps under green having to pit. It was the left rear tire that was soft, as the Goodyear lettering was rubbing off, despite the fact that the right front splitter was the one on the ground. I don't know what happened to that 92 car. Carruth was trying to get to pit road, but I don't know if that really had anything to do with Williams crashing. That was so odd. I almost wonder if there was contact between Sam Mayer and Josh Williams when they tried to go low to evade the 88. If maybe Mayer got in the back and hooked Williams up the racetrack. Every replay we've seen hasn't given us a good enough angle. Mayer wrecked into Williams. That's what I'm assuming. I haven't seen a good replay yet to completely justify that, but I would assume that that happened. I mean, the car just doesn't turn right like that straight across the track, usually, especially in the middle of a straightaway. That's a tough break. I think he restarted in 12th. Not a great racetrack for Josh Williams in his career. And this caution's going to cause a red flag.
Brennan Poole, who was so great late in the race last week, ended up 12th, but boy, he had a shot for something far better than that as 13th. Garrett Smithley missed the race last weekend at Daytona, comes back this week in what is kind of his home track. He is 14th, and rounding out the top 15, Taylor Gray, who's been through a lot tonight.
And for these smaller teams, races like this where there's a lot of carnage are a massive opportunity, but you got to be running. You got to survive to be able to take advantage of that. Think back to last week, Ryan Ellis finishing 6th last week, so close to getting a top 5. That's huge for teams like that to have these kinds of outside days when there's so much carnage.
7th caution of the day is going to turn into our first red. There's just so many parts and pieces and debris around. NASCAR's going to stop them. Going to be inside of 10 laps to go when we get that restart that could end it. When I think about how electrifying the restarts have been and how competitive things have been at the front in the draft, huge finish coming. And Echo Park Speedway for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. What a night it's been. And the best is yet to come on CW.
Red flag conditions for the first time today. This is the second consecutive week we've seen a red flag in the O'Reilly Series. First Daytona, and now this one. Two races, 2 red flags for this series this season. Had one in the truck race, I think, last week as well. Caution laps didn't count at Bowman Gray Stadium in the clash, so we had a lot of red flags there because the caution laps didn't count. Those weren't natural reds, of course. 78 likes on the stream, just over 100 of you watching. A little extra time with this red flag period to try to hit that like button so we can get to our goal. Again, 22 likes away from our goal for the stream. Wish Raja was full-time in the 88. Shame he has to share a ride with others. I don't need the seat time. Well, maybe he can piece together a full season running part-time, elsewhere so he can maybe compete for points still. Be nice for him. The red flags have been anywhere between like 10 to 15 minutes between the truck and the O'Reilly races last weekend. I don't expect this to be too long of a red flag, unless for some reason Josh Williams hit hard enough that they need to replace a safer barrier, but I don't think they do. It's pretty much just that single car incident. Obviously, maybe contacted by Sam Mayer, but we can't tell for sure. Haven't seen a good enough replay yet.
10 times last year in running at Coda is back driving the JRN. And Rick Creed, you're going to see him for the first time this year. Great little road racer as well. Carson Cromwell, 91, but it's a JRM repaired car. He was right there in the battle last year with Connor Village. So there's Connor on the 88 pit box, hanging out with his old team. Be racing here tomorrow. By the way, qualifying for Cup teams rained out today. Tyler Reddick starts on the pole. Congratulations to him on winning the Daytona 500. We need to get Reddick back over here, two-time champ in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Like to see him racing on a Saturday afternoon. He's a fun one to watch. Well, you look at that top 10 and you just think about the land of opportunity. No more winning you're in, but I think we all learned.
While we're under a red flag condition right now, we'll actually go over the starting lineup for tomorrow's Cup race at Atlanta since qualifying was rained out earlier today. Our first look at it, Tyler Reddick going to be on the pole after winning the Daytona 500 last week. Joey Logano, who is going to be starting in second, a two-time Atlanta winner. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 4 top 10 finishes in his last 5 Atlanta starts, will be on the inside of row 2 alongside Chase Elliott, another two-time new Atlanta winner. Brad Keselowski, two-time winner of the old Atlanta, on the inside of row number 3 alongside Zane Smith. Chris Buescher inside of row 4 alongside Riley Herbst. And row 5 will be Bubba Wallace and Josh Berry. Noah Gragson, Daniel Suarez, row 6. William Byron, Kyle Busch, 2 more former winners of Atlanta. 2 on the new one and 2 on the old for Busch. Byron with the new track wins. Row 8, Carson Hocevar, Kyle Larson. Ty Dillon, Cody Ware, row 9. Row 10 will be AJ Allmendinger and Michael McDowell. And row 11, Ross Chastain, Ryan Blaney. Row 12 will be Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek. Ty Gibbs, Ryan Preece in row 13. Row 14, Cole Custer, Shane Van Gisbergen. Denny Hamlin, Austin Cindric in row 15. Connor Zilisch, Christopher Bell, row 16. Row 17, Austin Dillon, Chase Briscoe. Todd Gillen and Alex Bowman. Row 18, row 19, BJ McLeod, JJ Yaley. That rounds out the field, so that will round out our field. Of 38 cars who will start the NASCAR Cup Series race at Atlanta tomorrow afternoon. We're back to caution flag conditions, as you see displayed on our screen. We have about 10 laps to go. Brief red flag period. I don't even think that was 5 minutes long. But it does save us a few extra laps. Where we're probably going to get a restart in now, I would assume, with anywhere between 4 to 6 laps to go. I think it was going to be a 2-lap race to the finish, if not overtime, had we been running caution laps for the last 4 to 5 minutes. So for us, the fans, at least, we get to see more laps here to the finish, hopefully, as long as we don't have a crash right away on the restart again. 7 cautions, 1 red flag, 22 lead changes, 43 laps and counting under yellow, 2 hours, 15 minutes, 28 seconds. Total time of the race so far, 9 to go at Atlanta. And here is the crew chief of Jesse Love with an interview.
Good competition out there right now. The guys in front of us have a lot of experience at this, and Jesse's got quite a bit too, but they're fast. Our car's driving really good. It's just about making the right decisions here to try to get this win here. So I think we can do it. It's just about picking the right lane on this restart.
A little bit ago, you told him to cowboy up, dude. Can you define what that means for us?
That means we got to raise the intensity level up a little bit. Like get on that bull and ride it. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be pretty fun for the fans. The fans are going to love it. Strap in because it's going to be a good 8 or so laps here to go.
I love it. All right, Dylan, what do you got?
Well, just want to give an app.
Danny Stockman Jr., again, crew chief of Jesse Love, that he just got the interview there from. "81 likes, folks. We're still 19 away from 100 for our like goal for today's stream. We hit it during the truck race earlier. Let's see if we can hit it for this O'Reilly Auto Parts race as well. We'll be live again tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern for the Cup Series race at Atlanta. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet as well, definitely be sure to do so. On the road to 7,000 subs. Countdown is to 64. We started the day today. We had 79 to go. So we're down to 64. Field did not get the one to go signal that last time by. That's less laps that Ross Chastain's going to have to play defense at the front of the field. So we're down to about 8 laps to go. I'd like a longer green flag run to the checker, let things play out, because here at Atlanta, with the way the momentum works in the draft, these longer green flag runs to the end are way more fun to watch than just a 2-lap shootout. And it's like that for most tracks. I just feel like it takes too long to get wound up. That first lap, you're basically getting wound up. And the second lap, you're up to speed, but it's not like, even sometimes, depending on the track, a full up to speed lap. Being able to shut the cars off during the red, maybe saving just a little bit more gas as well. I don't think gas is an issue. Even if it goes to 1 overtime, I think we've had enough caution laps in this final stage that these teams should be good that have not pitted. Most of them have pitted in this final stage for the back half of the field because of the cautions we've seen. We've got 22 cars currently on the lead lap. And outside of the front, half dozen to maybe 8 to 10 cars at the most have not pitted, but they should have decent amount of fuel left. Should be getting the 1 to go signal this time by. That means we're going to restart with 6 laps left at Atlanta. So 6 laps to go in the restart. Ross Chastain is the leader. Sheldon Creed takes the outside of row number 1. Austin Hill will be on the inside of row 1. Now, Jesse Love did not go with his teammate Austin Hill this time. Love will be outside of row 3. So I almost wonder if Hill can't get to the lead, if Hill's maybe going to be able to get up in line in front of Jesse Love in third and kind of go from there. Maybe that's a strategy plan for RCR. That's my bold prediction. Or Hill could get to the lead and just kind of survive, then Jesse Love's going to have to try to do what he can to fight his way up there. But very, very interesting. So that brings the 5th place car to the inside of row 2. That's Brandon Jones. He's going to be the guy trying to push Austin Hill in front of him. All right. Well, RCR car split up just a bit. Not going to try to tag team the field initially on the restart, but we'll see if they can get together. Again, 6 laps to go on this 1.5 mile drafting oval at Atlanta. Echo Park Speedway, newly renamed. Middle of last season. Title sponsor there. Ross Chastain trying to go to victory lane in the Xfinity Series. And for the small team, Jordan Anderson Racing. How cool of a story would that be? Austin Hill trying to get his 6th career win at Atlanta. And the NASCAR O'Reilly Series home track for him. Sheldon Creed outside of row 2 still looking for his first series win. Former truck champion is Creed. He's been full-time now for a 4th season in O'Reilly action. It's been 2nd double digits Green flag back in the air. Great restart for Chastain and Creed. Not so great on the push by the 21 and the 20. I almost wondered if the rear tires might have been up off the ground with the 20 pushing a little early in that restart zone as Hill was trying to get through the gears. So Ross Chastain clear the pack down the backstretch, and we'll see if Sheldon Creed can get clear as well. Jesse Love not quite going to push the back of the 00 yet. A block down to the inside for Chastain through the center of 1 and 2. 5 laps to go, this time by at the line. Side by side and very close at the line for second between Creed and Hill. Not even sure who got across the line ahead of the other there, but they're boxed in with Chastain going top to bottom whenever he needs to make the blocks and hold on to the lead. The 88 car of Carruth is bottoming out again. I don't know if he had contact at the restart again this time or if that's just the low ride quality in the race car. Creed is all over the back bumper of our race leader, up the middle 3 wide for 3rd place out of nowhere. Nick Sanchez, the summer winner at Atlanta last year, is right between the RCR cars of Hill and Love. Hill's still down on the bottom. That is not a good restart for this 21 car taking the inside of row 1. He's still going backwards. He gets pushed out of the 3 wide mess. Now he's single file for 4th. And here comes Sanchez to the inside of Creed for 2nd. Jesse Love to the high side. Also had a push from Jeb Burt. Bottom to top for the 25. Will get all up over the back bumper of Ross Chastain. Pushes him on the front stretch. Nose to tail. That will keep Chastain in the lead into turn 1. 3 wide for 2nd. Sanchez gets swallowed up by both Jesse Love and Austin Hill. And now he's in the sucker hole 3 wide middle and going backwards with no help quickly. Austin Hill side drafts Love. Love going down to try to side draft Hill back. Leaves the outside lane open for Sheldon Creed. They're 3 wide for 2nd place again. They'll be coming to 2 to go at the line. Hill clear of Love, and he's not quite clear of the 00, but Love will now try to push the 21. Down to block the inside is Chastain, who has led every lap since the restart so far. Can he hold on for 2 more? Hill is clear of Sheldon Creed to get to the outside in 2nd. The master of drafting oval racing in this series, Austin Hill, trying to gun down the little team that could. Jordan Anderson Racing, driven by the veteran Ross Chastain. Hill to the inside into turn 3. He's clear off turn 4. He'll move up. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Can Chastain get him back? And does Jesse Love maybe have a shot on the inside lane still? Sam Mayer back up into the top 5 on fresh tires just behind everybody. Chastain to the bottom. No run for the 2 of Jesse Love, at least not yet. He's side by side for 3rd off turn 2 down the backstretch with Sheldon Creed. Backing up to get a push and a run. Chastain gets the push from Sheldon Creed. Looks to the inside. Hill blocks. Hill sideways. As he slides up into the middle of the corner, he saves it. Sheldon Creed's got the lead off turn 4. And for the first time ever, Sheldon Creed has finally won an O'Reilly Series race. He wins at Atlanta. Unbelievable. Sheldon Creed has finally done it.
Unbelievable. Thank you guys so much.
A block by Austin Hill for the win on the final lap. Nearly turns himself off the front bumper of Jordan Anderson Racing's Ross Chastain. Great save by Hill. But it's Sheldon Creed on the outside lane, keeping his momentum up while the 2 to the bottom were not able to. Had the lead off turn 4. Great save by Hill to not overcorrect and come back across the center of the racetrack. Then who knows who would have won the race at that point. Where did Hill end up in all that? Austin Hill finishes 12th, pulling out of the lead in the final quarter. Ross Chastain in 2nd, was leading coming to the 2nd to last lap of the race, finishes 6th. Parker Retzlaff for Viking Motorsports finishes in 2nd. Nick Sanchez in 3rd, and Corey Day, despite causing 2 wrecks today and was a lap down at one point, comes back to finish 4th. But the story here, Sheldon Creed finally getting his first career win. Margin of victory, 0.3 of a second. We finish under the regulation length of 163 laps, 250 miles. 2 hours, 22 minutes, 44 seconds total time of the race. 1 red flag, 7 cautions, 24 lead changes, including the final lap pass for the win for Creed. 46 laps under yellow out of the 163 today. Sheldon Creed went on to lead 17 laps. Jesse Love led for 31, 22 for Chastain, 23 for Mayer, 22 for Carruth, 34 for Hill. Hill led the most laps. Stage 1 winner was Jesse Love. Stage 2 winner Roger Carruth, and Sheldon Creed wins the race. Here's your race winner. We'll go through the finishing results after you get the interview from Creed. He's finally done it.
Finally. The emotion and jubilation that has been building for so many years for Sheldon Creed. Buddy, does it feel as good as you thought it might after all these years?
Incredible. Just, yeah, been a loser the last few years and just kept showing up. Not how you draw it up when you win a Truck Championship and win races and go to Xfinity and go 4 years winless. So, incredible. I think all my past teams at RCR and Gibbs, they all gave me great opportunities. And now here with Haas Factory team, back with Chevrolet and great engine. Hendrick Engine Shop did a great job for us. And excuse me, Road Ranger, all these, Pit Boss, everyone that supports us. Gene Haas, Joe Cluster. Incredible.
You said on the radio coming to that final restart, you wanted to restart fourth. Did it play out kind of like you thought it was going to play out there at the end? Obviously, it worked out like you hoped it would.
It never plays how you kind of draw it up, but yeah, just finally a winner. And maybe, I don't know if one win will kind of revive my career, but maybe if I win a few this year, it will. And probably going to drink a ton of Coors Lights tonight.
I don't blame you. Well done. Sheldon Creed, a bridesmaid no more. Finally, a winner in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, Kim.
That smile says relief all over it for Sheldon Creed. Kim Coons caught up with Austin Hill.
Here, late in the race, walk through those last few laps in that move at the end there by Ross Chastain.
Yeah, I mean, we had a really fast finish Chevrolet all day. There was a few things that, looking back on that, I could have done different. When I got to the lead, off of 2, I might have got a little too far out. And then, yeah, I mean, what about that save, huh? The save was insane. I thought that I was going to be head on in the fence there, but end of the race, you have to throw the block, and 32 drove through me. He has nothing to lose. He's not racing points or anything, and I don't know if I'm going to race him again later on, but that's Ross for you.
NASCAR has expanded the amount of races the Cup drivers can run in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, so you will race Ross Chastain a number of times throughout the season. Does it warrant a conversation?
No, I mean, we're both going for the win. I was dead sideways there, and I don't know how I saved it. So that was a lot of fun. I had a blast tonight. Just wasn't meant to be. Atlanta's been so good to us, and it just wasn't meant to be this time.
I was a little confused there because Austin Hill was the one who threw the block on Ross Chastain, so I'm not sure why he thought that Chastain had drove through him. Chastain made the move to the inside. Hill pulled down the block and he wasn't clear. Turned himself off the front of the 32. But needless to say, great save by Hill and a great win for Sheldon Creed. Congratulations to him. We'll go through the full field finishing order and then we'll wrap this stream up. Sheldon Creed with the win. Parker Retzlaff in second. Nick Sanchez third. How about that top 3? One win combined in the top 4 positions with Corey Day in fourth as well. Sheldon Creed got that one win here tonight. In fifth was Jesse Love, then Ross Chastain in sixth after leading a lot of laps late. Sam Mayer comes back from a lap down in seventh. Rajah Carruth in eighth. Taylor Gray ninth. Brandon Jones rounds out the top 10. Dean Thompson in 11th. Austin Hill 12th. Patrick Starapoli 13th. Garrett Smithley 14th. Josh Balicki 15th. Jeb Burton in 16th. Chad Fincham 17th. Nick Lights in 18th. 19th for Brendan Poole. And he was the last car to finish on the lead lap. Then Luke Fenhouse, first car lap down in 20th. Austin Green, 21st. Ryan Ellis, 22nd. William Sawalch, 23rd. Gio Ruggiero, 23rd. Anthony Alfredo, 25th for Anthony Alfredo. Mason Maggio, 26th. 27th, Josh Williams out of the race. 27th on back DNF tonight, so we ended up having 12 DNFs. Williams in 27th. LeVar Scott, 28th. Jeremy Clements, 29th. Sammy Smith, 30th. Cody Ware 31st, Carson Quapple 32nd, Justin Allgaier 33rd, Joey Gase 34th, Harrison Burt 35th, Blaine Perkins 36th, Ryan Seek 37th, and Kyle Seek 38th. And that will round out the field. Next race for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series will be next week at COTA. Again, no live commentary there, only because I will be at COTA for the Sunday Cup race, and I'll just be out of town with no really plausible means to be able to stream. As far as tomorrow goes, we'll be live at 2:30 p.m. Eastern for the Cup Series race, and that will be taking place at Atlanta. Hope to see you then. Again, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, we'll be live for that. Hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. Hopefully you enjoyed today's coverage of both the O'Reilly and Truck Series races at Atlanta. We got one more to go tomorrow. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a good rest and safe Saturday night.